Hello, hello. Welcome to our live broadcast. Welcome to our channel. This is the Battle Bunnies NFT project.
And friends.
Battle Bunnies and friends. And we're here with you on a beautiful Friday, January 28, 2022. And we're going to be talking to you all about our NFT project. We've got Frank here.
Hey guys.
Our husband and wife, tattoo artists from South Florida. And we are doing NFTs now. We got a huge project going on, launching 2/22/22, and we're excited. We're excited to be here with you guys, tell you all about our project. Frank's going to be drawing some traits, showing you his process behind it. And let's get this show on the road. We also have our other crew waiting backstage. They're going to be popping in, answering your questions. So throw out your questions now. Throw out what you want to see. And get it going. So Frank, go ahead and start with just like what's going on. Like, what is this all about?
Well, I guess it started with these little bunnies, and I guess the world expanded just from there. These little warrior bunnies. The whole premise of we started with the Vikings, and then eventually it expanded into Valkyries and pirates and shamans. We wound up with all these different classes of them, and as I was working on it, I've always been a big fan of RPGs and fantasy art and all of that. So I started to create these items and traits based on stuff that I've always liked in these games, and think about the quality of the items and the quality of the things you could get. And, like epic weapons, rare weapons, legendary items and stuff like that. And so it just kind of started from just drawing this little bunny and turning it into this whole kind of world. And then we had the idea for the samurai squirrels and medieval mice and all these other cool armies that we could build, and have these little critters all battle it out. And then the story started developing from there. And that's kind of how we got here now, except we just piled so much more stuff into it.
Cool. So, yeah, we're starting with the bunnies, and we're also here with Foo Fight Studios. They're an amazing animation company, and we're working with them in the background on some stuff, metaverse kind of stuff. And yeah, we're excited. We've been working for 2 months straight on this. We've got over 400 traits for the 5,000 bunnies. There's gonna be a lot of variation, different backgrounds, different weapons, all kinds of stuff. There's gonna be some pop culture references in there. And yeah, so what are you gonna draw today?
How about I just surprise you guys and we'll figure it out as I draw it? I like that idea.
Cool. Yeah, we have a lot of surprises in store as well. So a big part of the NFT space is Discord. It's an app. It's kind of like a social media app where you have your own like channel. I guess you would call it. I don't even, what are they called? Discord channels, right? Right?
Oh yeah. There's the Discord channels.
There's channels within
and it's actually like a server, right? And then there's all these channels within our server.
Yeah, so definitely join our Discord if you're watching this now. That's how you're going to get all the news about the project, all the upcoming stuff. You'll be able to get on the whitelist. We'll tell you all about what a whitelist is and how to do it, what it is. And we're going to bring in Joey, our marketing guy, our Discord guy. He's going to tell us all about what Discord is.
Hey, guys.
Here. Hey, Joey.
How's everybody doing today?
Good, man. Excited.
So, a little bit about me, guys. I think this is the first time I've been on here. So I've been in the NFT and crypto space for a long time now. Been using Discord for a long time because I'm a gamer, which is really why Discord originally launched, was to support video games, people that were playing games such as like Fortnite and Warzone and things like that. It's well, that's not probably why it was launched, but that's really what it turned into. And now the NFT space has kind of taken over Discord. So Discord, if you work in any type of professional atmosphere, is very similar to Microsoft Teams or Slack. Discord is a private server that can be set up, and then channels built within that server where people can have access to specific channels. So we've built out our Discord. I know it can be a little intimidating. There's a lot of channels in there, but each channel has a specific purpose. So when you're looking through our Discord, some of the big things that you want to pay attention to are obviously our official links. The official links channel will be the only links you will ever need to use when navigating for Battle Bunnies. You have to be careful in this space. There's a lot of spam.
Do you want to pull up your screen, Joey, and that way you could start show people around in Discord? Because I think it's very inundating and overwhelming to people. I know some
Yeah,
people.
I had never heard of Discord before this.
Sure.
So I'll stop sharing for a little bit, and then you can maybe walk people through the Discord a little.
Yeah, sure. Hold on one second. Share screen. Let's share this screen. All right. Mine's up, I think, Krista, if you want to throw it up there.
There it is.
All right. So let's see if I can zoom in a little on my. Hold on. There we go. All right. So this is as you can see here, I'm in a lot of NFT servers. Here's more of them down here. But this is our Battle Bunnies server. Up at the top here is where you'll find a quick snippet of information about the project. So obviously you can see here, we will never DM you, be aware of scams. So if anybody's sending you a DM about Battle Bunnies and it's not from me, well, first off, I'll never DM you any information. All the information I put in there will be in this announcements channel right here. Okay. But this is a quick snippet of information about the project. As we scroll down, this is why it says official. This is all of the verified official information about the Battle Bunnies. So here's where we're going to post announcements, right? So we've got giveaways, talking about the live stream, all kinds of fun stuff. And as we get closer, there'll be more information about minting. So I'm going to skip around a little bit. So we'll mention minting. So down here, I created this channel, How to Mint. So this is kind of like your information section. So each channel is set in a subcategory, which will hopefully give you an idea of what is contained within there. So here's your information category with sub-channels. So here's How to Mint. So I've pretty much posted a step-by-step process on how minting an NFT works. We'll get into more detail on how this works as we get closer for people that are new, but I would encourage you to read through this process, watch the video that's posted here. I believe Frank has started adding videos to our YouTube channel where we've got information as well about minting and things like that.
Playlist. I created a playlist there.
There you go, in our playlist. So that's announcements. Then we've got Meet the Team. Right. So here's information about our team. So what you're going to hear, there's a lot of buzzwords in the NFT space. One of them is called doxing, DOXXING, or doxed, DOXXED. So people might be familiar with this, but this is where the team puts their information out there for you to see who they really are. So in this space, a lot of times people will not reveal who they are because the reality is 99%, if not 98% of a lot of these projects are not genuine, right? People looking to make some quick money, and you have to be careful. So having a doxed team, which we have right now with, here's Frank's information, Krista's, Chris, and mine, is very important when you're looking on whether or not you want to verify a project. So here's our doc section of our team. Rules and guidance, we haven't really updated yet. We kind of have that already when you go into the verification screen, which is here. So when you join our Discord, you have to verify yourself by clicking this little green arrow, which will open up the rest of the channels. And you'll see here there's some general information and rules about using a Discord server. So the next important thing we're going to come to is our roadmap. So our roadmap is exactly what it is, right? When before we had our cell phones and we used to actually carry a map with us to get around town, right? You would follow that roadmap to get to your final destination. And that's why in the NFT space, they've dubbed your project's goal as a roadmap. So here you could read through what our plans are, how we plan on unleashing the battle bunnies, utilities, all kinds of stuff like that that you can read through here. There's also links that take you to other channels as well. So please read through the roadmap. If you have questions, let us know. The Grimoire, we'll talk about that more later. Sneak peeks is another good one. So this is where we've been posting some pictures of battle bunnies that we've been releasing on social media. Feel free to make one your profile picture. It's really simple. If you're on your phone, you just save the picture to your photos. If you're on a computer, save it to your computer. You click down here on your profile, right here on settings. Go to user. Let me go out of share mode. Go to user profile. Hold on one second. Go to user profile, and I can change my avatar to one of those. If you'd like to make your battle bunny your picture, like as you can see here, we have on the right side of the screen. So then we've got our official links, which I talked about before. Our website is coming, our OpenSea is coming, but here's our Instagram, our Twitter, our YouTube channel, and here's Frank's Twitch channel for LaNatra Studios. This is another great one here, frequently asked questions. So this gives you a general overview of kind of the NFT space, right? So what is an NFT? NFT stands for non-fungible token. So not technically, Krista is an NFT. Frank is an NFT, right? We are a one of one.
Hey.
Yep, we are a one of one that cannot be duplicated, right? They broke the mold, right? So that's what an NFT is, right? An NFT stands for non-fungible token. It is a one of one item. So in the sense of the battle bunnies, there will be 5,000 battle bunnies released. Not a single one will be repeated, which makes each and every one of them an NFT, a one of one. Some information about the blockchain, Ethereum, which is what the blockchain will be on and the currency we'll be using, a MetaMask wallet, gas fees, and then as I get more information, we'll post it. Here's another link to how to mint. So something else I've just started doing as well is I just added in this article. John sent me this one, so I want to thank John for that. So we're going to be establishing a DAO within our community, and this is a great article that explains what a DAO is and how beneficial a DAO can be when joining a project. How to buy will get updated soon. This will walk you through the process as well. Pretty similar to how to mint, but how to buy will kind of talk more about like secondary market sales if you're interested in buying on the secondary market. Our media material has some videos. It has our last YouTube video. So once this one is done, we'll upload it in there. Raid channels, another important one. This is where we ask you guys to get involved and help us push the battle bunnies on social media. For Twitter, social media is where we're posting all of our Instagram posts, where we would also like you guys to get involved, comment, share, etc. So let's close these down. So then we have our main section, which is where you'll find our general chat, where everybody likes to talk about coffee 90% of the day. But it's a great place to meet other people in the project, interact, talk about whatever you want. You want to talk about other projects, talk about other projects. You want to talk about your weekend, talk about your weekend. Just get involved, talk to the community. An NFT project can have the best artwork, the best utilities, but if the community doesn't come together, it won't matter, right? So it's important to get involved in the community. We've got Frank's art here, Krista's art here. This category is a special one. So it's not official. Well, it's official, right? We just haven't really announced it. So I'm going to give you a little spoiler. We are going to be having a fan art contest that will be releasing soon. So stay tuned.
Why don't you just let me spoil it? I mean, you know I can't control myself, so you have to take that away.
All right, Frank, tell them what it is.
I love that Joey. I'm surprised too now, Joey.
So we're gonna announce probably in the next week or two. You're gonna have 5 days to create your own Battle Bunny art, submit it to Krista and Frank. they're going to pick 5 people, and then the community will vote on the favorite artwork submitted, and that person will win a free NFT.
Woo! I like it.
So congratulations to Lehio, who won a free NFT yesterday in our Instagram contest.
Yes.
So fan art suggestions. This is just for you guys to come in, give us some opinions. As you can see, Drummer suggested the Monty Python Holy Hand Grenade. And what did Frank draw last time or the time before that? A Holy Hand Grenade, right? So these suggestions are anything, right? It's not just traits or artwork. It could be anything like, hey, can you add a channel in the Discord? Or, hey, we think you should institute this in the DAO, right? Feel free to give us your opinions. Whitelist is this is for people who have made the whitelist for them to put their addresses on. This one's pretty small. This is actually I had a one already. I'm going to delete this already. There you go. Let's delete that. So this is giveaways where we've been hosting those whitelist giveaways, where we did the Instagram giveaway. Don't forget, when you see this little bot come up and you click the little thing here, you only need to click it if you haven't already won a spot on the whitelist. Okay. But we'll keep doing more giveaways there. Off topic is another fun one. This is where you can talk about all kinds of stuff. This is Krista's. She loves dropping some mental health for you guys, because we all know in today's society with work from home and everything going on, people have a lot of stress and anxiety to deal with. And we want you guys to know that we're here for you. So I believe Krista's been posting some really great information. We even got some other people in here sharing stuff, which is awesome.
Yes, it's popping.
Yep. This one is where I've been posting the most. I would definitely suggest you guys take some time to learn about NFTs and crypto. I've been posting a lot of articles and updates on what's going on all over the world and how we're moving to the future. So pretty much every day I try to post some information about the NFT or crypto space. So please take some time to read it. I promise you, Gary V is really big in this space, and he'll tell you before you do anything in this space, spend 4 to 10 hours researching before you do anything. So I'm trying to give you guys as much information as I can so you can do your own research and get involved. And then finally, if you don't speak English, we've got channels for you here. You can simply come here, pick whichever language you speak, and it'll unlock one of these channels for that language. And if there's other people that speak that language, you guys can chat with each other in your native language. Last one, if you have an issue, you could open up a ticket. If you find somebody trying to rip us off, you can report them here in the scam alert. And then we have some voice channels here where we're going to do some other projects as well. But I know it's a lot. Don't get overwhelmed. Just take your time, look around. Probably the most important ones are the official channels, which is everything you need to know about the project, and then information where we're going to keep you guys updated on what's going on. But if you need anything, obviously you could always reach out to me. I live on my computer 24/7, so I'm pretty much always available. But yeah, so this is our Discord. I hope I gave you guys some information also about NFTs and the space itself. And we appreciate all you guys for coming in and help us spread the word. Let's make Frank more famous.
Yes, that was great. There's a link to our Discord right on our Instagram. Super easy. You just click there and it'll take you right to it. So yeah, thank you, Joey. That was great.
Yeah, we've got Krista set up a link tree in our Instagram. It's also in our Twitter. That'll take you to our Discord. Oh, let me show you guys real quick too. If you ever want to invite somebody to our Discord, while you're in Discord, you would just click up here, invite people. And there's a link here you can copy, and you could send it right to somebody via text message, Instagram, Twitter, right? Email, and they can then access our Discord with this link. If they're already on Discord, you can just simply invite them, just by finding their name. But if you want to spread the word, that's a great way. Click here, invite. If you're on your mobile phone, it's pretty much the exact same way. You just click in the top left corner on your mobile phone. Let me see if I can show it on my mobile phone. So you would just literally at the top. Oh, let me take my background off. Hold on. 1 second. There we go. So at the top of your phone, you'll see here these 3 little buttons. You just click these 3 little buttons and you'll see that invite comes up right there. And you just click invite and you could send that link to somebody as well to join the Discord. But yeah, any other questions, just reach out. Thank you guys.
Awesome. All right, Frank, let's see what you're doing over there.
Okay. Let me so I'll switch back and share a little. This is what we got so far.
Oh, I like it. Wow, you got a lot done in 20 minutes.
I'm just roughing in stuff.
Yeah.
Just picking a color palette and roughing away, laid out a rough sketch just to shape some stuff out. Still got a long way to go, but got to create the lighting, the shapes, make sure everything gets balanced out nicely.
I love it.
You know, we can start.
Joey, while we have you here, let's talk about what an NFT is. I know we talked about it a little bit before, but
of course. So
yeah, maybe a little more in depth.
Yeah, of course. So NFTs are not just art, right? So right now, the NFT space is being dominated by artwork, right? Like these Battle Bunnies. But if you talk to anybody who's heavy into NFTs, Web3, NFTs really are the future. Like musicians right now. So Kanye West said the other day, that previously musicians worked for their record labels. Okay. They were never really a musician. The record labels kept 90%. Kanye West kept 10%.
Right.
Well, now musicians can release their music as an NFT without the help of a record label, and they keep 90%, and 10% goes to whoever it is that's distributing their music now for them, whether they're paying a programmer, etc. So NFTs are opening up a whole new world into purchasing, buying, selling. I believe it was Ukraine. I have to double check, but the first real estate sale was done. The first NFT real estate sale was done in Europe. I think it was Ukraine. A few months back, where basically they posted a picture of a condo, listed it for sale as an NFT, and written into the contract was, if you bought this NFT, you own the condo.
Oh, wow.
So you have to think of it. I was just talking to a friend in Texas. Her nightclub owner could be selling NFTs, right? You sell NFTs, the NFTs grant you access to the nightclub all year long and discounts on bottle service, let's say. Right. And now if you leave Houston, or maybe you don't want to go to the club anymore because now you've fallen in love and you're tired of them bottle rats, right? You could now sell that NFT to somebody else. You make some of your money back, and then the club gets royalties on that NFT. So NFTs right now are being very pigeonholed as artwork because that's the space. But the reality is the use for NFTs is just starting to, it's the tip, right? Like there's so much more that can be done with NFTs. Disney is a great example that I tell people all the time, right? For people that are Disney and Universal fans, right now, when you buy an annual pass at Disney, that pass is not transferable. It's not refundable. You're stuck with that annual pass for $1,100, right? Now, if Disney sold you that NFT, sold you your annual pass as an NFT, it would grant you access. But let's say in the middle of the year you move, right? You could now sell that NFT to somebody else. So for whatever price you want, right? So if they only sell so many annual passes, right? Now there's no more available. So someone will be willing to pay whatever to get that annual pass from you. You could potentially make more money than what you paid for it, right? Selling it on the secondary market. And Disney can attach a royalty to that. So Disney can sell 100,000 annual passes for $1,000 a piece. And then everybody that decides they don't want their annual pass anymore can sell it on the open market, and Disney can take 10% of all of those royalties.
Well, let's hope they do it because Disney just got into the metaverse.
Yeah, they actually, there's, if you guys are interested in Disney Marvel stuff, there's a exchange called VEVE, where they're actually selling comics as NFTs and things like that. So they have licensed agreements with Disney, Marvel, stuff like that, where you could actually, they're doing drops of specific comic books as NFTs if you're into that kind of stuff. But like, there's this just space is so, I mean, this space is so new, and there's so much that we can still learn about this space and how NFTs can be implemented into real life. Like, why gyms sell gym memberships anymore is beyond me. They should be selling NFTs to people as gym membership. You talk to, like, the biggest person in the space right now is probably Gary V. If you don't know who that is, his name's Gary Vaynerchuk. And he talks about how the next industry that NFTs will disrupt is the mortgage industry and attorneys. Because you got people like Chris, who's our smart contract guy, right? And who can write you these contracts for a fraction of what lawyers charge, right? And everything can be done on the blockchain. So the NFTs are definitely going to be disrupting a lot of what's going on in the world. So I would definitely encourage people to watch videos, get educated, and learn, because it's kind of like Gary Vee says, it's kind of like social media or the internet, right? Like, I was very resistant to social media. I didn't have a Facebook. I didn't have an Instagram.
Right. Yeah,
I didn't have a Twitter, right? And I was like, this is stupid. To be honest, I was the same way with crypto. 8 years ago, when people were telling me to buy Bitcoin, I'm like, this is dumb, right? But the reality is, this is the future. And if you don't want to get left behind, now's the time to learn and jump in, because we have just started this drive up the mountain. Like, don't be that person that didn't want to use Instagram and now you're mad because you don't have 1 million followers making all that money peddling coffee.
Yep.
Yeah, I've talked about crypto for years and nobody ever wanted to listen to me.
Yeah. It's this is definitely a very interesting space. You know, Web3, which I mentioned, is, so for those of you that so Web 1 was AOL, right? Like, you can go online, you could look things up. Yeah.
ASL.
Yep, that was Web 1. Currently, we're living in real quick, Inky Punk had a question. Can we see the Battle Bunnies in a different pose? So actually, the answer to that is no. So Battle Bunnies only live in that pose because of the traits that Frank has drawn for them have to fit onto the Battle Bunny correctly. And if you start changing poses, then you have to change the traits, and it just becomes way too difficult. So, you know,
Yeah.
That's just kind of how NFTs work.
Sorry, Jeff. I was going to say, I could give a little more insight into that. And there's literally, we have now over 400 traits, and there is going to be more coming. So in order to do different poses, each trait would have to be specifically designed for that pose. So that means that if we had to do all the same traits for each pose, if we got over 400 just for one pose, that means we'd have to hand draw and design 400 just for each pose. So if we did 3 poses, that means we'd be hand drawing 1,200 traits essentially for that. So that really becomes originally when we started this, and I was talking to Chris about it, I was like, oh, I'll draw 4 different characters. You know, we'll do a bunny, we'll do a squirrel, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then as I started getting into it and drawing the traits for these things, I realized, oh my God, none of these will work with any of the other characters. So it's like I would be trying to draw 4 complete projects into one. And that's where it kind of also bred the idea to create the samurai squirrels, the medieval mice on their own, and just dedicate the time to designing everything specifically for them.
Yeah,
don't know if that helps.
that's a great explanation as to why, and that's pretty much why you see like 99.9% of NFT projects, they're like, like if you look at Bored Ape, the apes are always looking the exact same way, exact same shape, right? It's just the
Yeah.
color of their fur is different, etc. But so back to my
We are going to have them face the other way as well, though, which is something really cool. I haven't seen a lot of projects do that. Gives it some variety.
So Web 2 is where we're living right now, which is the interactions, social media, right? Things like that. Web 3 is where Web 3 is where you'll be able to connect, and let me see how to explain it best. So like Web 3 is where you can verify who you are and what you own, and that's how you'll be able to navigate, right? So like you won't be able, like there's a verification process with Web 3.
Hi, Chris.
That it's interesting, but we'll bring Chris on. Maybe Chris can explain to you. But Web 3 is where we're going, and NFTs and crypto and the blockchain are all part of what Web 3 is, and it's more of a verification ownership in the internet than where we are now.
Yeah, and I'll help a little bit on this because it does also have to do with decentralization, right? So when you're thinking about
Chris, can you just introduce who you are a little bit?
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm Chris. I'm tech guy, helping with the contract.
Strangers popping in.
I mean, tech nerd guy. I was tattooed by Frank 8-ish years ago. It's been a while, but huge fan of Frank's art. Luckily enough, been friends with Frank. But my background is on the tech side and the finance side.
And he's also the catalyst for this project.
He says catalyst, but I think it's his passion for drawing that was the catalyst. So I just kind of got to help out. So when we're talking about what is Web3, I think the biggest thing with maybe not crypto, but NFTs or this world of the metaverse is an idea of decentralization. You don't really think about it, but pretty much all the servers in the world, every website is managed by like 3 companies, right? Google, AWS, and Microsoft. Everything that happens on the web, they kind of influence. There was a time last year where one of Amazon's servers went down, so all you saw was like no picture for a bunch of items across the internet because everyone uses these services. So one of the things with Web 2 is really this IP model where you go into a web address, but it's generally controlled by a handful of companies. All those servers are controlled by a handful of companies. A lot of the companies, they're just paying those companies to use their servers. This Web3 world is really more autonomous. It is decentralized. It's, like this NFT space, it gives us the ability to create art and imprint in it trustability, the way that, we can say, hey, this is verifiably done by Frank. The contract is kind of, there to prove that. It's transactable, right? Like I don't need to communicate in a lot of ways. And that's really what Web3 is this world where you don't need intermediaries as much, kind of like Joey was talking about real estate, right? Or these kind of these kind of, I guess, worlds where you need an intermediary to hold something, right? You need an intermediary that you trust. We've kind of moving that into code, where the code is the intermediary. So if the most common place to buy NFTs on the secondary market is
OpenSea. OpenSea.
Yeah, on OpenSea, it's primarily the biggest secondary market. So you can buy different NFTs off of OpenSea and kind of engage. And there's a level of trust that goes in there, right? As a seller, and you kind of think about this with eBay, except like that's also one of some of the downsides of eBay is what if the person doesn't deliver it to me? What if they don't, what if it's not verified? But eBay is kind of that central authority that's saying, hey, we're going to be the intermediary. For a lot of these digital assets, your ability to transfer and transact, luckily the code is that intermediary. So everyone can kind of trust it. Everyone can kind of utilize it. And again, it goes to this world where it's decentralized, right? There's not these authorities that are kind of in the middle. And so that's what I would say kind of with NFTs is the ability to, whether it's music, art, whatever, transact that, create that, verify that, and engage. And also, like, I guess we don't think about this, but it's very interactive, right? There's some things that aren't as interactive. The world that we're going in is very interactive.
So just to back up what Chris said about the whole decentralization thing, this is what I talked about before about you have to be careful, right? Right now, this space is unregulated. So, a lot of people, if something happens to you, nobody's going after anybody, right? So this is what I talked about with scams and DMs, and be careful of what you click on, because the beauty of the space is also the beauty of the space is also the ugliness of the space, right? Because there are people out here that are looking to steal from you. So it's that decentralization that makes this space so amazing. But you also have to be careful, because if you click on the wrong link, like we said before, and connect your wallet and send that money, you are not getting it back, right? It's not like PayPal or your credit card where you can file a claim, or your bank. It's gone forever. Nobody's giving it back to you. So that's why we're going to have a lot of education around how to set things up, where to go, what to click on, what you shouldn't, because of that decentralization and unregulation that currently lives in this space. So as beautiful as it is for musicians and artists like Frank, the consumers themselves have to be very careful.
Yeah, I got caught in a scam a long time ago. Lost almost half an ETH at the time, because I didn't know. I was new to the crypto space. People seeing all this stuff. Oh, send this and we'll send you that. And that was my first and last lesson, in that scammers out there, and never, ever do that. So it was a valuable lesson, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and that's same thing when I talked about like the doxing of the team, right? I'll be honest, I'm in a lot of projects. Quite a few of them were, we call them rug pulls, which are where they pump up the project, they sell the project, and then they just disappear. And your money is now gone. They've taken your millions into some offshore account in Australia or wherever, and they're buying a boat, living on a yacht, and you're out your money, right? So that's where doing your research for 4 to 10 hours, like Gary Vee says, and understanding who's behind it is very important, because luckily some of the projects I was in didn't cost me a lot. So, I mean, listen, losing money is not fun, right? Whether it's $100 or $1,000, losing money is not fun. So educate yourself, ask questions, talk to people that you trust, and be aware of what's going on around you. So that's when I talked about the doxing of teams and really understanding, because there's a lot out there. I mean, this is a very new space, and everybody's getting in it. You've got the Paul brothers, you've got Logan Paul's in it, you've got everybody's releasing NFTs. The Nelk Boys. Can
you tell some people who these people are? Because you throw out names, and
these are they're pop culture people. They're not important. Right. They're just pop culture people. But the point is that they get these big names behind these projects, and they pay them to promote their projects, and they're telling everybody this is the next best thing. Buy. But really, they're only doing it because they got paid $100,000 or $200,000 to say it. And you go in and you buy because somebody said buy, and next thing you know, your money's gone, the project's dead. So just take your time, do your research, ask questions, and be smart about it, because the decentralization and the lack of regulation makes this space great, but it also makes it scary. Don't fall victim to scams.
And the other great thing is that we're always in Discord too, and like the team is always there, and so people who are new to it and unsure, I mean, feel free to reach out to us. It's not like we have all the answers to it, but a lot of times when you're familiar with the space, scams are pretty easy to spot.
Yeah.
Nowadays, especially in the crypto world.
Yeah, there are definitely telltale signs. I follow a lot of pages on Instagram and Twitter, and they're constantly posting like, "Hey, 5 things you should be aware of," right? And we'll start to post more of that stuff. We'll talk about a big thing in the space is your wallet where you hold your money,
your seed
right?
phrase.
Yeah, don't lose your seed phrase. It's happened to me before. It's not fun.
And never give it to anybody. Nobody will ever ask you for it.
And we're going to be explaining stuff like that, how to make a wallet, what a seed phrase is, all that stuff. Because a lot of people don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll show you guys that. But there's a lot of great YouTube videos. Like I've sent a ton to Frank to add to our playlist, so that way you guys could watch. But just spend time educating and ask questions. The Drifter. Jake Paul tells you to do something, you do it. I mean, listen, the Drifter, to be honest, he hasn't been wrong on a lot of the NFT projects he's pushed. So I would not take his advice, to be honest, on a lot of this stuff. So if I followed some of his buys, like this, interesting. There's people believe that there's 5 big whales right now in the NFT space, and he's one of them.
What's a whale, Joey?
A whale.
People always wonder that.
Yeah. So a whale is somebody who is heavily invested in high end or has very valuable NFTs. Like I could show you, I could probably pull up Jake Paul's or Logan Paul, whichever Paul brothers, I don't remember, their OpenSea and show you. But whales are people that are going around buying up NFTs in large quantities, or owning very expensive NFTs like CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Doodles, things like that. And there's 5 big whales that if you're really interested in getting into this space, they tell you if you follow these 5 whales and what they're doing, you'll probably make money, right? It's just like investing, right? Like if you listen to what was the guy's name? Wolf of Wall Street, right? Right? Listen to him and you'll get rich, right? It's kind of the same thing, right? Like these guys just literally are investing, and you could follow them and do it. There's this industry is a lot about analytics and statistics, right? So like I said before, the artwork is cool, the utilities are cool, but you got to understand the analytics and statistics of how things rise and fall, how coins rise and fall to really be successful in this space. I'm no expert. I'm trying to learn, but
Yeah, there's a lot to learn in this.
A lot.
Can we talk about, because you keep mentioning utility, can we talk about what the utility is on our project, the Battle Bunnies, and I guess give us a quick overview of what utility is, because I still get a little confused sometimes. Like it's basically what other uses does your NFT have, right? Other than just being like an avatar, an image.
Yeah, of course. So utility is defined, right, as perks, opportunities, access, or value attached to that NFT, right? So for example, Krista, what is the utility attached to owning a Disney annual pass?
You get to go into the parks. You can go, I think there's like a separate line to get in for annual pass members. You get a discount here and there, stuff like that.
That's the definition of utility. By owning a Disney annual pass, the utility is access all year, depending on your level of pass, right? Access all year long to the park, free parking, separate entry line, 10% off on merchandise, 10% off on food. Those are utilities, right? If you join a gym, what's the utility? Access to the gym, right? That's the utility.
Right.
So for Battle Bunnies, so that's the easiest way to explain what a utility is, right? It's the perks, the benefits, the access.
Like what am I getting?
Correct, right? So that's the easiest way to define utility. So for our project, the first utility by owning a Battle Bunny is you'll gain access to a closed group of other holders, right? And those holders will include some crypto investors, NFT investors. They'll include other artists, right? So you'll be able to collaborate with other individuals who own this bunny, and ask questions, learn, get educated, right? That's the simplest utility we have.
Yeah.
Yep, community, right? Then we add in some of the more complex utilities. So access to free NFTs, right? So as you heard from Frank, this project is not just about the bunnies, right? This is about a whole ecosystem, this whole world that exists in Frank's little head that he's now trying to
be little.
I mean, would you rather a big head?
All right, touche, sir, touche.
Right? I mean, I don't want to be called some people have. I mean, do kind of have a big head. It's like kind of.
Isn't that offensive to the people that have a big head now?
I guess. Sorry if you have a big head out there, so you'll have access to future NFTs that we'll be releasing, some for free, based on just holding or the type of bunny you hold. You'll also get automatically whitelisted for other projects. So whitelist is, while we're talking about the whitelist, which we have in our Discord already for this project, is early access to mint the NFT at a discounted price, right? So you're pretty much guaranteed, if you're on the whitelist, you're pretty much guaranteed to get one, right? If you're in the public sale, there's no guarantee it ever makes it to the public sale. Right. So by holding a Battle Bunny, you are going to get whitelisted for future projects, which affords you a discount on those projects and guaranteed access. Doesn't mean you have to buy them, right? You just have that access. So you're going to get free NFTs. You're going to get access to whitelist and discounts. Okay. Now we'll get into some of the more complicated things. So a DAO, right? By holding a Battle Bunny, you'll be part of the Battle Bunny's DAO. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So what a DAO is, the easiest way to explain like what a DAO is for people that are already kind of like in investing. When you buy shares in a stock, that gives you voting rights, right? So essentially what a DAO is ownership in the company, right? So if you own 10 Battle Bunnies, you now have 10 votes out of 5,000 in the decisions that we will make for our decentralized autonomous organization. So if you want if you want to learn more, that link I posted in articles, it's a great link to explain more of what it is and why they matter. There are all kinds.
That's so cool. Just that alone, just that I would get a vote in what the company is doing. Like that's what's so cool about NFTs. Like there's nothing like this anywhere else where you get so much say and input, and like your vote matters. Like you actually matter to the project.
Yep. So we're establishing a charitable fund. The DAO will help decide where that money goes, right? So we might pick 3 charities, 4 charities, and we're going to go to the DAO and we're going to say, okay, we need you guys to vote on where you want this money to go, right? As we raise money for future projects, and so part of the utilities is the future of the project, right? I'm not going to give too much information and spoil it, but are we going to release an animated series? Are we going to do a cartoon? Are we going to get into gaming? Are we going to do avatars for the metaverse? Are we going to create, a battle, what's that game? Clash of Clans type game for your mobile, right? Like all of the ways that we, especially partnering with Food Fight Studios now, the animation studio, the DAO is going to help us determine our path into the future that the community feels will give them the most value, right? This isn't like communist Russia, right? We're not going to tell you this is what you have to do, and if you don't like it, then you can just leave.
Right. No offense to all the Russian communists.
Yeah. What did you say? Apologies to all the Russian communists.
No offense. Yeah.
Oh, no offense. So, that's the importance of a DAO. So you'll have access to the DAO.
That's cool.
I kind of talked about it already, but working with Food Fight Studios, and it's in the roadmap, so I might as well say it. We're working on a 3D avatar that, if you choose to, you'll be able to run around the metaverse, whether it's in an Oculus or Sandbox or Decentraland or whatever the future is. You'll be able to run around as your Battle Bunny. You can, whatever goggles or computer system you're using to enter the metaverse or 3D realm, you'll be able to. We're working on a 3D avatar for your Battle Bunny. And like I said, does that become a comic, a short story? Does it become an animated series, a game? Right? You're going to be part of that decision making.
Yeah.
Something else to talk about with ownership, like Chris mentioned. So Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is probably one of the most famous, probably the most famous NFT right now.
Mm-hmm.
You own your NFT, right? That one of one that you own is yours. So Bored Ape Yacht Club has gotten to a point to where it's so popular in pop culture that companies like Coca-Cola, McDonald's are reaching out to Bored Ape owners and asking if they can pay them to use their Bored Ape in advertisements,
right.
in marketing
Licensing.
materials. Yeah, licensing, right? So talking about this verification of ownership, right? You are the only one that can ever let anybody do anything with your Battle Bunny. So if we decide to do an animated series or a comic or whatever, right, we have to go to you and say, can we use your Battle Bunny? Right? That's yours. We can't just take Krista's Battle Bunny and put it into an animated series without her permission. We don't have ownership of it anymore.
Right.
Right? So this allows you to take your bunny. If you own your own business, right? Let's say you own a printing company. You can take your Battle Bunny that you now own and make it part of your logo, or, and be like, hey, NFTs, this, that, here's my NFT, my battle, right? So there's a lot that can be done with this NFT just by holding it. And we're going to try to create value for you with partnerships like Food Fight Studios and other things that we have in the works. So your Battle Bunny holds and increases value. And it's not just a really cool piece, because it's a really cool piece of art, but we're going to try to make it more of that for you. Trying to think, did I miss any?
The store and the grimoire.
Oh yeah. So the grimoire is kind of like what I alluded to with where we could go in the future. So the grimoire is kind of like our, what's the book in Lord of the Rings? Like, what's that? I don't know. It's like our story. It's the story, the tale of the Battle Bunnies, right?
Yeah.
Like when you read it's like Harry Potter, right? Like, we're going to create our own tale that you will be able to contribute. So when you get your Battle Bunny, you can name him or her, whatever you want, right? Like Frank, as creative and artistic as he is, his Battle Bunny is just his name backwards, right?
There was a reason for it.
But you can name.
Can you show us Narf, Frank?
You want to show us Narf real quick?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can do that. Narf the Mad. Of course I can show you. Yes. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll grab him up.
So while he's doing that, you'll be able to name your battle. There he is. There's Narf the Mad. Of course, Frank with his lightsabers, because he's a big Star Wars fan.
I am.
But so you'll be able to name your Battle Bunny, create a story or a tale of where he or she comes from within the constraints of our world, right? Like, we're not going to we don't want you to create this whole new planet, right? Because all the Battle Bunnies exist in the same ecosystem.
Right.
But you can name him.
We want to know their personality. Like,
yeah,
we want to know what
exactly.
they like to do. Yeah.
So you'll be able to contribute in the grimoire to the tale of the Battle Bunnies and friends as we develop the other characters, and we'll take that grimoire, and that's what will become the animated series, the video game, whatever it is, right? So you're going to be able to contribute to this mad mind story that Frank has in his head that he's now releasing to everybody. And then the merch store. So we've got some really cool stuff planned for the merch store. So the only way you'll have access to the merch store is by holding a Battle Bunny. I don't want to tell you guys, but there'll be some really cool merch. One thing we've already designed. But, think about, like, you'll have access to a store, and maybe you want your Battle Bunny on a keychain, or maybe you want your Battle Bunny on a T-shirt, or maybe you want your Battle Bunny on a sunshade on the front of your car. But there's some surprises that we have in store for you guys in the merch store. So you'll have access to the merch store. Let me just check the roadmap, make sure I didn't miss anything. We have some other things in the works as well that are not completely ironed out, so I don't really want to talk about them yet. But there's definitely a big future here. We're doing our best. Listen, Frank is an awesome artist. Krista's an awesome artist. Chris is great at his IT stuff. I'm good at, I don't know, all kinds of weird shit. I'm like a jack of all trades. I don't know, right? But we're not experts in everything. And by bringing on Food Fight Studios, that's where it's going to help us in that direction. And then we might bring in somebody else, right? Like, we're going to bring in a great team that is going to help us move in a direction that the community is happy with, that's going to create value and build something bigger for everybody. So just trust in the fact that we're doing what's best, and we're going to surround ourselves with the best people to really deliver you guys more than just this amazing artwork.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. I mean, yeah, we're all about utility. We're not going to stop. We want you to make money with it. We want, like, everything. So, but we also want to do it the right way. We're not going to rush anything,
And we really do want input from the community. I think that's a big part of, like, why we came, decided that that's what we want to do with the DAO, because we want people to feel like they're helping create this project as well, and that their investment, not many people get to pick where their investment goes or how the project develops. And plus, there's so many great ideas that we won't think of, like just the ideas for traits alone, kind of shown how creative the community could be and what great ideas they have. And there was some stuff I didn't even think of. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. I'm going to do that. I'm going to add that in. And I think that's just a great part of it, is having the community really help us do a lot of this.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say, and that's what we're encouraging. Like, I understand if you're new to this space and you're not sure what you want to do, you might only want to buy one or two, right? But there's going to be value in holding more, right? The beauty of we're instituting some things for people that hold 5 or more, 10 or more. If you're gonna buy 10 or more, please reach out to me, because we'll put you on our premium list, which even gives you a bigger discount than the white list. But we're going to have some special perks for people that hold 5 or more or 10 or more. And like Krista said about making money, right? Like, if you maybe you only really want to keep one bunny for yourself, we would encourage you to buy more than one, though, because we're going to create value so you can sell those bunnies on the secondary market if that's what you want to do, right? So I'm not going to tell you how many to buy, because I'm not in control of your money. But I definitely would encourage most people to try to get more than one. Plus, you want to up your chance at getting a legendary, or getting one of the special classes where there's 75 or 100 pirates, right? So like, the more you mint, the more chance you have of getting one of these exclusive or like legendary bunnies. But yeah, I would definitely encourage people to look into getting more than one or two when mint day comes around.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe you could explain a little more. You or Chris can give a little more of an explanation on how rarities work and why it's it's a big deal to have certain qualities or rarities in your and how that holds value as well for people.
Yeah. So Drifter, you're 100% correct. He said action figures. Yes, there's an opportunity in the future, working with somebody like Food Fight Studios who does 3D models and animation, that we could release action figures.
I already thought about it.
Yeah. There's definitely an opportunity for that. That's the beauty of this market. It's endless, right? The possibilities are endless. And if our community comes together and helps us build and grow, we will get to all of those milestones. And we could see Battle Bunnies, kids, I mean, I don't know if Toys R Us, people still shop there, but we could see Battle Bunnies on a shelf, right? We could see Battle Bunnies or maybe on Amazon. We could see Battle Bunnies on Amazon one day, right? Since really nobody goes to the store anymore. But yeah, action figures are definitely possible. So rarities and traits, right? So typically with most NFT programs, most NFT projects, right? Your NFT is going to rank 1 to 5,000, right? And that ranking is based on the traits that randomly get assigned to that bunny. So, for example, the rarest bunnies we have right now are the legendaries. So we've revealed a couple of those, Loki and Freya. So those are the rarest. Those are complete sets of a god.
Loki and
you could
Freya?
show Loki and Freya since they've already been shown. So those are going to be the rarest, right? They're specific assigned set imbued with the power of that god, Loki or Freya, right? So there's our set of Freya and there's our set of Loki. Okay. And then from there, right, rarities will range based on, right, like the color of how many, like, so for example, let's look at this one here. So you see Freya has a shield and then she has the ball and chain. Okay. Now that pink ball, let's just hypothetically speaking, that pink ball and chain, there might only be 20 of them out of 5,000, which means that pink ball and chain is rare. Okay, that's how we determine rarities. How many of a specific trait exist in this collection of 5,000? So you could get a bunch of common stuff, right? You can get a common bunny with common headwear and a common shield and a common background, but maybe that one weapon in the right hand, there's only 20 of them. Now your bunny becomes rare because of that one weapon. So it's a combination of every trait that is assigned to that bunny. So the background is a trait, the color of the bunny is a trait, left hand has a trait, right hand has a trait, headwear, eyes, mouths, mustaches, beards, right? Like backgrounds, like that's why we have over 400 different traits. I mean, how many backgrounds are there, Frank? 25 or something like that?
Yeah.
Like 20 to 25 different backgrounds.
A little more. And then there's some, legend, and they're also ranked from.
Yeah, and those backgrounds are ranked. Some backgrounds have a Frank LaNatra signature on them, which make them even rarer, right? So every trait is ranked, backgrounds, weapons, colors, and it's all based on how rare it is. So the more available, the less rare it is. So for example, pirates, there's only 75 to 175 pirates. Those are rare, right? 75 out of 5,000 is really rare. Now with those 75 pirates, those pirates will be ranked 1 to 75 based on the weapons, the headwear, the background. And typically, when you talk about secondary market sales, people will pay more money for the rarer NFT. So if you hold an NFT that's ranked, like let's say you're lucky enough to mint a legendary, right? That legendary in the NFT world, that legendary will sell for significantly more money than a bunny that's ranked 4,000 because it is so rare. So that's where rarity where rarity impacts is secondary sale. So if you're looking to sell your bunny on the secondary market, and that's where our job is to keep the hype, keep the excitement, get people involved, show the project off. So that way, if you do decide you want to sell your legendary, you sell it on the secondary market, and maybe you get enough money to cover all your costs and some, and you come out as a winner. But I mean, let's be real. If I mint a Loki, I want to run around as Loki in the metaverse. I'm probably not going to sell it, But that's kind of how rarity works and how traits work and how it can impact the price of things. And that's secondary market price. The initial price, everything is the same. It's just luck of the draw on what you get from the randomizer.
And secondary market is just the market after the minting, right?
Correct. So OpenSea right now is the number one secondary NFT market. You can list your NFT on FTX. Coinbase is releasing a marketplace. But right now, OpenSea is the biggest secondary market. You want me to share my screen and show them kind of what OpenSea looks like real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to be at. So.
Yep. So let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So this is OpenSea. So as you can see up here, my wallet is connected. I'll show you guys some of my collection. So this is some of my collection of NFTs. Oh, this is a fun one right here, guys. If you want to own your own Web3, you can go to, I'll post the link in our Discord, but you can actually own your own Web3 email address. I own mine for the next 60 years. Everybody knows me as Joey Vowels, so I bought Joey Vowels .eth. But so these are all the different NFTs I own right now. So OpenSea is where you'll be able to go and sell or purchase other NFTs. So here are some of the top NFTs over the last 7 days. But just to give you an example,
show off hobbies.
Okay, hold on.
Let's show our buddies.
Yep.
Amazing.
Is it BT? Is it as BT?
B2DC.
Oh, here it is. So here's the secondary market for Javi's project right now. So all of these are currently listed for sale as buy nows. You could also put them up for auction and set a. It's just like eBay, like Chris mentioned eBay, right? I can put my NFT up as on an auction and set a reserve price, so that way I know it doesn't sell for any less than, etc. Right? Or you can just put it up as a buy now. You do have to look at though, if you're selling, what you don't get, right? So a lot of we'll be setting this up too, which is royalties. So OpenSea takes a percentage, and then we would take our royalties. So for example, if our royalty is 7%, I think OpenSea usually charges 3%. That means you're going to lose 10% of that sale. But so you can see here, these are all that are for sale right now. Is this a legendary?
Which one? No, that's one of those Squid Game ones.
Oh, but he did do a Squid Game legendary one, didn't he?
Yeah, he did that. What was the Gamekeeper?
Yeah.
Can you go back to one and show like the properties and how people are going to see?
So for example, let's just pick a random one. So let's go one I like. We'll go this one. That's fine. So this is where we talk about traits and rarities. So here's this NFT that he created. So you'll notice it's got a tongue piercing. It's got this horned helmet. It's white. So when you go down to properties, you'll see here's the background. So this background is called emptiness. There's no background. So 42% of the 777 have no background. Back, which I guess. Oh, maybe it's the face. I don't know. But here's the background. So the background is smoke, which is 17%. There's no eyewear. There's no face wear. The helmet is Viking. Only 1% of his collection has that. So that means only 7 of the 777 have this Viking helmet. And then tongue piercing, only 3%. So this is where you can look at the traits you have and then the rarity of that trait based on the project itself. We will have on our website a way for you to search the ranking of your project. So Javi uses, I think he uses Rarity Sniffer. Let's see. So we're building something out.
Rarity Sniper, I think, is the one that he used, right? For his rankings.
Is he using Rarity Sniper?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So we're going to build something like this for our website versus we might use one of these websites too, because there's value in advertising yourself on these websites. But see, as you can see here, all of these have the same rank because all of these are the artist collaborations that he did with other tattoo artists. So they're all the same rank. They're all ranked 1. Then you've got his legendaries, which are the ones modeled after specific characters. So you got Groot, you got Rocket Man, Scorpion, Iron Man, etc. They're all the same rank 8. So after you leave those, let's see, rank. So here we go. So now we get from rank 8, we jump up to rank 85. So this is the next rarest NFT in the project. Okay. After all the legendaries and after all of the artist collaboration. So you'll see here, this gold Henya headwear, it only occurs once. Or mouthwear, sorry, only occurs once.
Yeah.
Then this gold Kabuto headwear only appears once, right? And then you can see here, this appears 34 times, 356, etc., right?
Right.
So
the bunnies will be the same way.
Yeah, so the bunnies will be the same way. We'll have a background, we'll have a color, we'll have headwear, we'll have eyes, we'll have glasses,
Yep.
we'll have mustaches, weapon left, weapon right, like all that stuff will be incorporated into the different properties, and we'll have a ranking set up like this, but it'll be on our website. And still to be determined if we'll be, there's a lot of websites. There's Rarity Tools, Rarity Sniffer, Rarity Sniper, if we'll work with one of those other websites as well. But this is where you can see how rarity and ranking affects. So like if we go back here to him and we sort this by price high to low, you'll notice the legendaries. These people are pricing legendaries. Like here's the Hellraiser legendary. Here's the V for Vendetta, Black Panther, Blue Oni. Here's the COVID one.
Yeah.
Right. Those are all priced at a significantly than these more generic, which are down around what the mint price was. And it'd be like this website, which is nice, is you can come over here. I don't know if just Rarity Sniper do it. Oh, here, rank. No, they don't do it on their website. But some of these websites, like for example, which I'm hoping we'll have on our website, or if not, we'll use another website. You could actually search by what's for sale and then how much it's for sale based on its ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you'll be able, so like if you want to go buy a Bored Ape right now, and you want to get one that's ranked high, like this one's ranked 21, it's going to cost you 2,200 ETH.
Wow.
Well, this is more realistic, 555, right? So, or maybe you want to look at like price. So here's the least expensive Bored Ape right now that's for sale, and it's ranked number 525 out of 10,000. So if you want to jump into, if you want to ape in, it's going to cost you $275,000.
Yep.
To ape into Bored Ape. And this is where we want to get the Battle Bunnies too.
Absolutely.
So that's a little bit about OpenSea and the second market and how you can buy and sell eventually.
Awesome. Let's see where Frank's at now. What's the status?
That's where we're at.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, that's what we got going on.
So Frank, can you show us a couple of the different classes, and we can talk about the classes of the bunnies and how we made it kind of like an RPG game where they're going to have levels and all that cool stuff?
Sure. Let me look and pull up some. I know we've posted some before, right? So like, give me a second.
Our dogs are really hyper today.
Check on the crazy puppies. So if I pull up the Loki and Freya again. This will give you an idea. So Loki is part of the Viking class, right? Well, this bunny is part of the Viking class. Sorry, guys. You guys talk. Let them talk.
Okay. All right, I'll bring Chris on and we'll talk about the bunnies and the traits and stuff. Frank's on doggy duty.
I get it. So what are we talking about?
We're gonna talk about the different traits and the classes, like how we made it kind of like an RPG game.
Yeah, so I think Joey was talking about rarities. I don't know if it's you, whoever was talking about rarities. So how this all works, right, is we assemble the traits and like we already talked about, the different, whether it's helmet, eyewear, facial expression, eyes. So with kind of how this worked, because in the NFT space, I'd say this is pretty unique because it's all hand drawn. There's shadows. You don't see a lot of shadows. You don't even see really that many backgrounds that are drawn.
Right.
There's some, but usually it's kind of sets of colors. And all of these, traits, whether it's the different helmets, the different weapon in that can be in one hand versus the other hand, because only specific weapons can be in one or the other hand. There can only be, in certain classes, they can only have certain traits also. And so how this kind of came about, right, is the idea of legend, what is it, epic, rare,
uncommon,
legendary.
common.
I'm back, so I could share with you. We based it. I think almost every RPG game in design, since I can remember as a kid, has broken things down as common, which is usually the crappy stuff you get in the very beginning when you start your adventure, and then you're lucky and you find an item where the lettering is green, and it's like, oh, that's an uncommon, and maybe it's a +1. It's a little better than the crappy sword you had before, and then from after uncommon, it goes to epic, and that was usually like maybe a +5 or something, and then you had to really work hard to get into the no, that was the rare, was the blue, and then you had to really work hard to get into the epics and legendary weapons. I mean, sometimes the things you had to do to get full legendary armor sets or full epic sets were you really had to get into the game and play hard, and I think that was the way we designed all these traits and qualities for the items, as opposed to just saying, well, this one's more rare than this one, so it'll only show up this many times. We really tried to create sets and items in the sense of feeling like getting those kind of meant that your Battle Bunny has really had some experience in adventuring and questing and been out there in battle and earned its stripes, so to speak.
Yeah, so kind of piggyback on that, right? Every trait, whether it's background, whether it's headwear, eyewear, weapon, wings versus not having wings, all of these have their own ranking of common to legendary. And the way that the rarities work when they're because these are all generated. I don't know if we've really talked about it, but there's rarities that we put in, but ultimately these bunnies are generated from all of these traits. And with that, the chance that they are generated is based on how rare they are. Whether they're legendary, then they have a very small chance in that whole trait pool. If it's, headwear, if it's legendary, it has a much less chance of showing up in any of the bunnies versus something that's more common. And that's for all of the traits. So you kind of, not only is there the ranking, the rarity kind of ranking, but there's also ways that you can visually see that, hey, my bunny has, an upgraded mace. It has upgraded headwear. In this case, right, the sets of Freya and sets of Loki, there's multiple weapons and items that can kind of still be a part of the set of Loki because there's multiple weapons that can be what really makes it a set of Freya and a set of Loki is the look, the feel, and so that's what makes these these special bunnies specials, because there was a mathematical rarity of both of three things all being true that are very rare. So the only existence for a set of Loki or a set of Freya is kind of that mathematical intersection. So that was kind of how Frank drew it, and that's how it's being generated, is based off of these legendary versus common versus whatever for all of the traits.
And what also to go off of that, what determines some of the classes essentially is traits that are certain bunnies are allowed to have. So what determines it falling into the pirate category obviously are pirate traits. The pirate hat.
You have a pirate there, right? You can show.
Let me pull one up and look. Give me a moment. So so the Vikings. If you want to tell a little bit about the Valkyries, but the Vikings will have the facial hair. The Vikings are the male.
Valkyries are the girls, and they all have wings.
Yes, and they have the female features, right? The eyes,
the eyelashes.
The eyelashes. Yeah,
right. But if you see wings, you got a Valkyrie, and they're more rare than the Vikings.
So let me see. I'm looking through. I'll have to pull them out of our file. So give me a moment.
So there's going to be different Lokis, different Freyas, different, where's some of the other ones? The Hel, the Cernunos. There will be variations of those god sets.
Yeah, and also, but they'll be very limited, right? There's a little more of a chance for some of these, because again, there's different weapons, so there is a little bit more intersection. But there will be some of the most rare. I don't know if there will be the rarest. I think there might be certain special things that might be rarer, but they will be among the rarest. And I think that's the beauty of this, is a lot of the battle bunnies, you can also see and kind of better understand the rarity. Where I wouldn't say that's always true, but like Frank said, he drew more common weapons, and when you look at them, they look more common. Right. Whereas these weapons are very distinct, very unique, and they're you can kind of instantly know their rarity or their ranking about that.
I love it, and it makes sense because Loki's a shapeshifter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Frank's gonna throw a pirate on the.
There you go. There's that, so you could get an idea of one of the pirate traits. Only the pirates will have the pirate hat and other pirate traits that go with it. So a lot of times it's the headwear that's going to determine. Well, in the Valkyries sense, it's their wings and the female eyes that determine it. But they can also fall into the pirate class. They can fall into the sorcerer shaman class, right? But they can't be a Viking. The Vikings are all the males in essence.
Yes. And only the Viking males have facial hair. No Valkyries have facial hair. Me and Krista were very adamant that females will not have facial hair in the Battle Bunny universe.
Hey, maybe in those Viking times, females, it was cold up there and stuff. Maybe they grew some facial hair. You never knew.
Right. You're not wrong, right?
So. And so that's essentially, I guess, is what determines the class, right? Would be the headwear. And then all the other items, there's other specific items that go towards classes as well. But the determining factor is the headwear that's associated with it.
Okay, cool. I like it.
I'm going to be on doggy duty again for a moment, so please excuse me, guys.
Do it.
Okay. So let's talk about what like the whole kind of background behind this project, like how you and Frank figured this out, and how it just kind of worked with kind of destiny brought you two together. And
well, it was just
really cool.
Well, yeah, it's been fun. It's definitely been work. Frank will tell you he hasn't slept much. You haven't slept much.
Yes.
But it was really, and this goes back to Frank tattooing me 8 years ago. Has nothing. I wouldn't say this is really an NFT. Like, the idea was not around NFTs as much as it is bringing a world together, right? That we were able to create in Frank's vision, and he's had a vision to kind of build a world around his art, and anyone that's been tattooed him, like, there's stories, it's not just this art. It's really a part of a universe. It's really what connects, right? A lot of the people that have collected Frank's art is the universe that it's drawn in, and why Frank is, the best of the best is because of the backgrounds too, right? It tells a story. It's so immersive, but there's so much behind it, and so I'm in the tech space, have done some NFT investing and different stuff, but it was really just me knowing Frank and his love for bringing this world together. And so I told him about it, and Frank's like, "What is an NFT?" And then I told him what an NFT was, and then he said, "What is an NFT?" I told him what an NFT again was. So after me kind of explaining what an NFT was a couple times, and also, like, I guess, like, making him see the vision and the possibilities that were there along with the art, right? The art is incredible, and I'm excited about the art, but it's also this opportunity to bring a world that all of these live in, and connect the community the same way he's kind of connected people that have collected his art before, right? He connects this community of Battle Bunnies into this world. And at that point, it was just Frank kind of runs and goes, and that's the beauty, is Frank's really driven a lot of the vision. All of this is kind of his baby in terms of mentality and how he's drawn it. So it's super cohesive. It's super thought out in terms of the classes, but also, like, certain traits that cross over, certain backgrounds that cross over. So that's kind of how it started, and I guess you're watching how it's going. So,
but that's what sold me too on it, Chris. When you explained it to me, and I didn't understand for a while. I thought, I see a lot of artists, and it's like, oh, they're just trying to sell their artwork, like the digital artwork. You put it up, and you sell it. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's not really what I want to do. And then when you explained to me that it's possible to do anything, that it's so much more. You could create this world. You could keep expanding on it. That's what got me excited. It was the idea that it gave me a platform to be able to create a whole world where people can be involved in the world. Oh, it was just so much more, other than just drawing a couple images of a cute critter and putting them up there so people buy them. That wasn't enticing to me. It was the idea of having a platform that you could essentially create this endless world. There was no limitations. When you told me and you said to me, dude, you come up with the ideas, you tell me what you want to do, and we can make it happen, that's what sold me on it. And when I realized that, it was all tying into the metaverse, and it could be tied into gaming and animation, and be tied into just pretty much anything. And it was just a way for people to buy into that world, to unlock their key to that world. That just set me running. And that really is what
and you haven't stopped running, my friend.
Essentially clicked in my head.
You haven't stopped running.
I haven't. Actually, I think I drive you guys crazy with how many ideas I throw out. And a lot of times everybody's got to kind of be like, all right, calm down, Frank. Calm down. Let's one step at a time. One step at a time. Because I just want to do it all.
I know you do. We're going to get to it all. Trust me.
Yes. And that's what people, I think, have to realize too about this project, and understand that's what you're buying into. It's not just about like it is about the art, but that's just a part of it. You like the art, you love the art, you want to buy in, own a piece of the art, but it's more than that. You're buying into the world and becoming a part of the world and where we envision taking this as a team, because it's spawned from my idea and creation, but it's really been a team effort in determining and really coming up with some of the great ideas and possibilities of where we go with this and what we could do. So and that just helps run with other ideas.
Yeah.
And it also connects a community. Again, this is like whether it's the DAO, whether it's our Discord, like all of it's just connecting people that love this art, that love Frank's art, and empowering those people to have their own little like community, whether that's their own avatar, whether that's a 3D avatar, whether that's just the ability to talk about the art. I know that Krista and Frank have several tattoo artists that kind of jump in and they'll watch him paint and kind of learn tricks on Photoshop. So it's a very like creative community. That's why we have a fan art contest. Now I'm not creative, so I just kind of sit back and watch most of that stuff. But that is the beauty of all of this, is it connects all of those people around this world that you get to be involved in. Frank kind of laid the groundwork, but the grimoire and all that other stuff, like you get to build that world. The DAO, you get to say like, I want this to kind of come to light, and so that's the dopest part.
Yeah, I love it. I love bringing everybody together. And Frank's been waiting on an avenue that he could put himself in. Like he's been waiting to build this world since I met him. We met 14 years ago, and he's been waiting. He's
almost 15, actually, Krista.
Yeah, almost 15. And this is great. This is exactly where we're meant to be. And Destiny brought you guys together. Chris went on a tattoo binge and got a whole bunch of tattoos in a short amount of time. And yeah, it started 8 years ago, and now here we are. So we're coming full circle with the whole thing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we're just so excited about this for you, to share this all with you guys.
Yeah.
And take this journey with everybody.
I love it. Reading the comments. Yeah, Doug just said him and Bill Danger love watching the art process and have learned a lot of tricks about Clip Studio. Yes.
Awesome.
Frank will show you his process. He'll show you how to do it. We're talking about maybe doing some seminars for holders. We have so many ideas. And let us know what you're looking for. Let us know what you want out of the project. We would love to hear it. So I guess let's talk about Frank's background a little bit. Like, what's your art background? You're a tattoo artist. Like, how, kind of tell people who you are, like what you've been doing for the last 25 years.
So I've been tattooing the last 25 years. That's definitely part of it. I went to school actually, me and Krista both went to school for animation and illustration. We went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. We both have our bachelor's in illustration. And when I first moved out to Florida, I had been tattooing, but I definitely not at the level, even my drawing was not at the level of what I do now. I had gone to school for 3D animation prior to moving out to Florida, but everything was still just not as strong, I guess. And then while we were in school and learning all of this stuff, that's kind of really what led me to realize that I want to be a character designer. I want to just create characters, create the worlds. I got very big into creating environments and stuff like that, but at the same time, the tattooing career started to take off. So I stuck with that and used that as a vehicle to essentially create my characters and environments, as opposed to going to work for a company where they tell me what I gotta create or draw for them, which I really thought was going to be the end result of my getting a degree and all of that. So that really opened up everything for us, I guess, was just tattooing. It just allowed me to interact with people, to create their visions, and really allowed me to be an illustrator in the sense of talking to people, and they would say, "Oh, this is the story I want to tell. I want this character or this kind of animal," and I would just get to know them, understand their story, and I would get to illustrate it. And really, the environments, I think, is what kind of set me apart in a lot of ways too, because without the environment, it was just a character. You're just throwing a character on somebody. When I started adding environments to everything, I was like, well, now not only is it the character, there's a world. There's somewhere where you can like look and say, oh, this is their home. What's the story? Depending on the lighting I would give them, it'd set the mood for the story, what the actual character was doing, the body language, the expressions, really just started to tell these stories. And now I'm just excited to be able to do it and create this, kind of story without, just kind of run wild with this, I guess. I know I get a crack a lot with when I'm talking about where my background came from, but really it just started with tattooing.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like that all sets you up for this, like pretty well.
Yeah.
You know?
Both of us in that sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't tattooing when I met you.
Right. No, I wanted to be an animator.
Yeah.
And then we went down the tattoo path, and we were successful there. And I think, like, we didn't get bored with tattooing per se. I still love tattooing, but it just felt like where is this going? Like we have so huge dreams and all these things we want to accomplish, but like it has to go somewhere, right? It has to go somewhere farther than tattooing.
But I think the tattooing, that's a one at a time, right? You're creating one at a time, and you're creating, for that particular person, and there's only so much you can do at once. And how much of a story can you tell other than those one shots of stories, right? Those one little things, and then you're done, and now you have to move on to the next one. Yeah. It's like, but you fall in love with a world or a character you create, and it's like, well, I want to run with it. I want to keep the story going. I want to create the world around them and their friends or their enemies, whatever. And it's like that's I think the one thing that tattooing, in a sense, doesn't afford, or it does to a very small extent, kind of like Jesse's Carcaeus project, right? A lot of those tattoos and characters all tie together into one world. But at the same time, it's how much are people willing to allow you to just do a tattoo for that particular thing as opposed to what they want. And so this is kind of endless. Now we could just run with this, keep creating, and allow everybody to really just get involved with it and help us create this story in this world. And I like that. It's such a larger level. It's such a bigger thing. So much bigger than us, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, that's what we've been looking for, We did that with the shops. We had art. We have art galleries in our shops, and we had art events and stuff like that. But then COVID came, and you can't really do that kind of stuff anymore. And everything's kind of going into the internet, into the metaverse. And we're both obsessed with Ready Player One. When we saw that movie, we're like, we want to be a part of this. I feel like NFTs are the base, like the base jumping point of the metaverse, right? This is where you kind of start.
That's what I understand from it. So, Chris, that's really? Can you explain a little? Because I think a lot of people wonder, what the hell is the metaverse? I don't think nobody knows the true definition of it, but maybe explain some of the possibilities and some of where.
Yeah, Chris, explain what is the metaverse.
I know, right? I'll tell you what it is.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's not Facebook, but it is this. Again, part of the decentralized idea is that anyone can kind of create it and everyone can contribute. But it is this world where things are fully digital. Interactive, like art is interactive. All these things are much more interactive and interactable in the future, in this world of, you know, where we're going, right? Web3. And part of this is, if you ever try to like what if you tried to predict the internet, right? There was versions of the internet before the internet, and even, you know, when internet stocks were kind of growing up, no one really knew what the internet could be. They had all these visions for it, and then ultimately, you know, it's kind of landed to so much more, right? We have Teslas that are connected to the internet. We have, you know, all these things, and that's really what the metaverse is. In back to this Web3, it's this world where you can be an avatar, or at the very least you can interact with things a little you know, more uniquely, if that is, you know, in virtual reality, if that is in AR, if it is in whatever. But it really gives the communities an opportunity to define that, right? Like, our metaverse doesn't have to, our version of the Battle Bunny metaverse doesn't have to be like other metaverses. It can be its own world, right? It can be its own unique place for us to interact as a community of people. And there isn't these central authorities that are kind of dictating it, right? It's the community. It's you know, all of us kind of coming together in whatever space that is. If that's, you know, in virtual reality, if that's, you know, other places that are completely online, but, you know, maybe even offline, right? It's kind of all of those things rolled into one.
I think, you know, also in that sense, that's why it's so hard to, you know, everybody's like, oh, well, so what game are you doing? What this you doing? What that? And it's like the metaverse is just really just starting to grow and become something and evolve. And it's like, so, you know, it's part of just slowly building into the 3D space, it's like building all the assets we're going to need. So that way, when you understand what are the possibilities of the metaverse and what are the possibilities that we can go in there or create in there, now we can pick a better direction, as opposed to shooting for something and you realize, well, that's really not going to work well in that area. It's really, so it's, you don't want to wind up pigeonholing yourself and then going so deep and so far in one direction that now you can't pull back and you got to kind of scrap everything you've been doing. So I think for us, it's important that we just keep developing the project, the art, the 3D aspects of everything, the gamifying of it in the sense of understanding the classes, the qualities, the you know, some of the abilities, like all of that stuff. So that way, when we do know what really is possible, then we can apply everything that we've thought of and done. Does that make a little sense? I mean, or is a good explanation?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to me. But it's also like, for anyone that's like curious, like how does this work? Part of this goes, like, when we're talking about what is an NFT, it's in the contract, its uniqueness. I think Joey said it's a one of one. It is the contract itself is a one of one because it has a unique identifier that says, hey, this is that NFT, this is that specific Battle Bunny. If, you know, if this was a Battle Bunny himself, he would have his own like specific unique address. It'd be connected to a wallet owner, right? How you bought it, because it goes into your digital wallet. And with that, we as the people that want to like facilitate this community can authenticate that you have a Battle Bunny, and that can be your ticket into these things, or that can be your ticket into the world, or that can be your access to have, you know, different assets that you can utilize in, you know, live streaming or in a 3D space like the metaverse, or you know, any of that stuff. Kind of like a Roblox world, right? Part of it is just giving people the access, the community and the world around them, and the tools to go and utilize and kind of build.
What is that Roblox? I've heard like people talking about it, and I'm not even familiar with that. Just so I have an understanding, or other people have an understanding as well. I don't know what Roblox is. Well,
so I haven't played much Roblox, but as our friend John says, like that's what his kids wanted were Roblox gift cards. Right. And it's just a world. It's just a block world that very like Minecraft-y looking world, but people are able to like create and do their own things in this sandbox, for lack of a better word, into this Roblox space, and they engage with other people that are also in the Roblox, like in that world. They share content, they share creations, they upgrade certain things. I'm not a Roblox professional, so I don't know if I know all of that stuff, but that's the idea, right? Is that community sandbox where you get to connect with other people that are in this world that is, not like the world outside, right? Even though it's nice, like for those people that have like snow and stuff on the ground, like I'm in Phoenix, so it's like 70, but like luckily it can be sunny, even if you're, in New York, in New Jersey, it can be sunny and, beautiful outside, and you can be thinking of the sun rays, I guess, in the metaverse.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, I don't know when that's going to be part of that Ready Player One stuff, but I honestly want to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row for when, we get to that point. It's like Battle Bunnies could enter into that space and just kick ass, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's also like connecting people. Like that's kind of the, I guess how you would say, the civilization advancements of the world is always like a form of connecting people, whether it was like an airplane or a ship, right? You were able to, like, those were the early versions where you could pass along ideas that other people had, or pass along other cultures. And then, we got radio, and then, email, AOL. So you could connect in these chat rooms with people that were, across the world in other aspects of life, living in other aspects of life that maybe me and Frank don't understand in Phoenix and Florida. And internet's kind of pushed that even farther, but now like the metaverse is making it so you can interact with people in certain ways, right? Where it's not just communication type. It's, we both share a love for art. Like we might not even speak the same language, but we both have like a love for Frank's art and wanting to like show what our talents can do, right? And we don't have to communicate. There's so many more people that gives a chance to interact with and learn from and engage with, that is beyond, our physical space, or is more interactive than just, the digital space as it is now.
Yeah.
How are we coming along in this?
Possibilities and, everything that's to come.
So what are you doing right now? You're blocking in colors, or I've been more talking than watching, so you might have to catch me back up what we got.
Yeah, I'm just shaping everything out right now. Just because if I take off the line work and take off this layer here, it was just a big block of nothing. So I have to start kind of blocking in everything just so I could start seeing the shapes before I detail them.
Yeah, I feel like we went away to Joey's screen for a little bit, and we came back and like 2/3 of it was done. But there's so much more to do. But like so much.
But yeah, I kind of just focused on the painting the sky and the environment and everything like that, and now I'll just work on this area a little bit, and then I do all the final things. It's never truly. I'll tell you what, nothing's ever truly done because there's always more you could do. Sometimes it's just you got to be like, all right, it's done enough. Let me walk away.
Yeah, you don't have like a pins down like the SAT or something to stop you. So I can only imagine.
Honestly, I should have somebody come in once in a while and just be like, okay, you're done. You're done. Back off.
That's usually my job.
I was gonna say, here comes Krista. It's either Krista or Han. Like Han probably has some input on Frank's time being done or something. I don't know if Honey like in her chair has any input either. Like she might.
No, she's so good. Not today though. Today she's being a wild little one, man.
Yeah. Yeah, she knows when we want to do things like this. They have that sixth sense, the dogs.
She's like, I'm just gonna drive them crazy today.
Or just try to get on camera, bro. Like I don't know, like she might be just trying to be a star, and like she sees her opportunity. Like y'all are, she's like, these guys are going up. Here I come.
Let me put her on camera.
See?
There she is. There she is. She's like, no, put me back down. See? There we go. Okay, she has her own personal office chair in my office here with a nice warm blanket from the dry. Nobody's allowed to sit in her chair but her. So when people come over to visit, like we had our buddy Joe Melly over, I think it was yesterday, came in between our long conference meetings. And it's like we had to bring in another chair from another room because even though there's perfectly fine cushy office chairs right here for guests, it's like it's not. It's Honey's chair. So when you come to visit, Chris, you ain't gonna be allowed to sit in it either. We're gonna have to bring you a special chair.
I'll sit on the floor, bro. I'm good. me and Han will play.
Oh my God, you're gonna love him.
Honey can have the chair. I'll take Han off of her plate for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, we can put him on camera in a little bit too if he comes wandering around. I don't know. I think he's with his mom.
I'm just gonna say bye to everybody. I'm gonna go be a tattoo artist now. Well, bye.
Bye, Krista.
He's still here with us. Is Joey disappeared?
Just you and me, buddy. I think John's around maybe, but
Han? So yeah, I didn't even see Joey leave. I've been so involved in this background. Is anybody else? Is people even still here watching? Like, hey, people? I don't know. I get lost.
Probably one or two. I don't see any questions, but that's the beauty of YouTube is that they can rewatch us and you drawing. Except I do, like Frank knows, I get mesmerized sometimes. So if you're looking for good commentary, sometimes I get lost. Oh, there we go. We got a couple people. We got a hi Frank. Looks like Doug's got to head into work, but he's gonna watch it when he gets off. So
hey, Doug.
Rachel is watching.
That's my mom.
Whoa. Well.
Say hi to my mom, everybody.
Hi, Mom. Welcome to the NFT space.
Mom's always there. So even when you think nobody else is there, Mom's always there. I love it.
Oh, looks like Lehigh is still Lehigh. I don't know how to say it, but he's still watching. So
yeah, if anybody has any questions about things, I mean, ask in the comments. Especially while we have everybody here. It's a great time that we can answer. So and especially if you don't know anything about NFTs, anything about the project itself, like just ask away. The whole idea of doing these things is really to just give people the opportunity to learn about the project, learn about what we're doing, or even answer questions about the space if you're looking to get into it.
Yeah. And so what you're doing right now, it looks like you're adding like base shadows or?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just so these base shadows are just roughly laying in just to define like some light source and stuff, just so it doesn't have to be neat. It's just to create the shapes and really just to create the light source and see. Then I'll go in and define, like you saw. I mean, I don't know how much the screen was up, but I spent the time doing the background. First, I just roughed everything in, and then I'll spend the time detailing and all of that.
Yeah, I'm glad that wasn't even a dumb question. I didn't know if that was a dumb question.
No, not at all. Like if we shut, let's just take the shield stuff, or we can leave the shield stuff on for now. But now, if I take away the line work, at least I have a good idea of okay, here's the shapes, how many shields I have to do and work on and focus on detail, etc. But if we just, when I first started the background, right, I was just painting in that. I was just painting in these colors there to do that, and then I had painted in this shape without this. So it's like at that point, it's like, well, now what? So then I had to, I did this just to kind of create a little more of the colors palette I wanted, And then that's when I started. So this was just a little bit of detail. See, it's just one layer of detail that we put in. Then we had to build up a little more of that. And then we had to create some lighting. So we just started to bring in some just lighting like this. So I say, okay, this is where the sun's coming from. So how is it going to start affecting things? Start to bring in a little bit of that misty stuff. Which actually, now that I do that, I want to tone down a little bit of this here. Watch this. We'll just tone it down a bit. Oh no, that's not going to work. Hold on. Let's we want to blur this out. Good thing you asked me, Chris, because now I would have probably eventually done this later.
Just trying to do my part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being a curious observer, I guess, is my strongest asset while you're drawing and painting.
And then I could go and blur this line out a little bit. I just didn't want it so light here. So now, yeah, here's a little bit of more of that smoky, misty stuff that kind of travels through. And you can see like the impact that it has on the ground there. So the shadows are still there, but it just brings a little bit more of that light in there and that fogginess to everything, especially up here where the horizon line is and how the sun just creates over it. So, and then I just put in some sun rays, see, just to shoot through and really pull that glow a little bit more.
Just with that,
I'm doing that to the shields. What?
I was going to say, with that said, I'm pretty certain, like, you would be hard pressed to find another NFT that's actually considering light source. Like, this is such a unique, like, your drawing style and the art style is unique in a lot of ways to the NFT space, because generally the backgrounds are simple, but like even a lot of the profile picture looking ones, they're flat. Like they don't have a lot of shadows. They don't have this light, like there's probably light bouncing that you're thinking about. Like it's just generally not what I think a lot of other NFT projects are really doing yet. I think that's ultimately where we go, and that's the excitement about this. But yeah, like it's fun to watch you play through the layers.
Thank you. It's fun for me too. So watch, we're gonna. So it's like, how does this make sense, right? I need to. This helps me with lighting too. And yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what. That's been one of the biggest challenges of all of this too. Is trying to make everything work within each other, work together. That's been one hell of a challenge, because not everything could perfectly work. Not every item can perfectly work with the light source of every bunny, because there's just so many things that is going to be generative. Like all these items are going to kind of, you don't know which ones you're going to get, so you don't know which one's going to block what, and trying to pull all that off was really difficult. But I know I covered a lot of it, even in some of the facial hair, just to realize that stuff had to be attached. So here, look out for shadows had to be attached to the actual facial hair and not the bunny. Those shadows couldn't be on the bunny themselves, right? Certain lighting aspects of shadows had to be on certain items and not others. So I had to figure out how to attach them. So like if you look at the stash, there's a shadow that appears with the bunny. Let's see here. No, wait, let's go. Shut this one off. Was it the beard? Some of them, full beard. Full beard will have some shadows around it. Just little things like that had to be attached to the actual items, just to make the lighting look a little more realistic in no sense when you switched items. Otherwise things would have looked, or maybe they wouldn't have looked weird to other people, but they looked weird to me, so I had to figure that stuff out.
Yeah. And if they looked weird to Frank, then they're gonna get solved before anyone else sees them, long before, because that goes back to just the thought process, right? There's so much thought that goes behind the way you draw things, and not even just like we talked about the story, but again, like the light source is you're probably, do you have a reference on what you're drawing right now, or are you just?
Yeah, it's Google. They said Google 300, and they said, what is the image? What do these backgrounds look like? And and so I just looked at them for color palettes and to get an idea. And I think there was something iconic about the image. So I was like, you know what? Let's make it iconic and recognizable. So yeah, I love using reference for stuff. But I mean, if you look back to where I started from, it was a blank slate, and that was my initial painting, and then everything kind of got built from there. I actually got built from this sketch that I erased half of now because I don't need it anymore. So I do like to look, like when I was doing the weapons for the Vikings, I pulled up, went through Google, just started looking at a ton of Viking weapons. Like what? I mean, I know there's swords, I know there's axes, but there's something more than just a sword and an axe, right? Like what made them Viking swords or Viking axes, or kind of had those attributes to their weapons versus medieval swords or Japanese style swords, So I always love to use reference. I use reference in a lot of my work just to kind of inspire. And when you pull from real life, I think it helps give whatever you're doing a little bit more of a realistic aspect, even though they're just cartoons.
Yeah. And again, a lot of the like the names of some of the sets and the weapons and the color variations, they're from Celtic and Norse gods. Like we didn't just make up names. I mean, I guess locally you probably see, but there's one called Cernunnos, Hel, which is Hel, which is the god of the underworld, I believe, in Celtic.
Yes.
Is that Norse? I know that you know a little bit more about that than I do.
Yeah, I learned a lot about stuff that I never knew anything about. A lot about the Norse and Celtic gods. Just had to do some research and figure it out. So yeah, I only know what I know now is because I started researching it when all these ideas happened, and I was like, oh, this is going to be great for this, and it's like, let's figure out what's the best way to tie it in, and what could inspire us from this culture to create. And that's why I know everybody has seen the samurai squirrels in the roadmap, but there's also that to be announced is like, who are the samurai squirrels? Well, that's the thing. Like, we're going to let you know more, but I have to really delve into researching a lot of that too, because I want to have some sense of culture and accuracy to the creating of characters and what's going to be behind it.
So with tattoos, because I mean you've done so many variations of tattoos in terms of like reference to even some Asian inspired stuff to different character like inspirations. Like how's that usually work in terms of like reference material? You just kind of start researching more on certain tattoos, or is there more stuff you have to research on certain tattoos versus others? Or
no, it always depends on what it is. If it's something I know nothing about, then it's going to require more work. If it's stuff that I've had my own interests in the past and already know stuff about or have done before, then sometimes those jobs are a little easier. Yeah. Because it's like, I just have a great idea based off of the concept, or just another way to do something that I've done before, or things that I've always been into.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot, is things you're into. You're already an expert on.
So, but you know what? And that's also a challenge. If it's things I'm into and have done so many times, it's like, how do I not do it the same way again? Right? It's like, because then it just gets boring to see. There's nothing interesting about that. It's like, he's just doing another this or another that. So how do I make that different? How do I bring something fresh and new to something that people have seen me do before how many times? Yeah. So sometimes that's challenging in its own right.
Yeah. Is it more just thinking about it? Is it more just like, where do I go? Like what is how do you kind of approach those situations? Like if you have to do another bunny tattoo after all of these battle bunnies, well, it'll probably be a battle bunny tattoo, and it'll only be on me because that's what I'm getting. But in anything that like you're well versed in, how do you approach it then? Like, is it just like, I want to push this envelope here, or?
Yeah, I guess I would have to get a little more detail, right? A little more of figuring out what is like what's a little more of the story, I guess. That would help. So I'll start trying to develop a little more of a story in my head, in that sense. And that'll kind of help me. Hold on, we got a little issue here. Let's round this out. See, problem solving. So yeah, sometimes that I just look at what I've done before and then just try to start figuring out what story am I trying to tell this time and how can I tell it differently. So whether it's just a little more research, a little more I don't know, talking to the client when it comes to tattoos, get a little more information on them and stuff like that. There's a lot of avenues you could look. Some things are harder than others. I know a project that I did for my buddy Nate, who's a huge supporter of this project. It took us a long time to figure out, and he came to me with one idea of what he was looking for, and I was like, look, I don't know how well that's going to work. We need to sit down and talk, and that's what we did. We sat down, and I wanted before we became kind of buddies like we are now and all of that, I didn't know him from anybody, right? So it was like, I need to know a little bit more of your story. So I had him come in, we sat down, and I just kind of wanted to know more about him and see what he was trying to kind of tell. What story did he want to tell? And after that kind of really made it easy for me to come up ideas and run with it.
Yeah. And so you're doing right now, it looks like you're kind of dark, like you have a darker color and you're kind of adding a little darker shadow?
No, it's the same color. So watch, I could go like this and just make it light, or I could just put a little more pressure and make it dark.
So it's really pressure sensitivity on the pin itself, huh?
Yeah, on this. I guess it's on the pen, right? I was thinking it's the screen, but I guess it's how it interacts with the screen. So yeah, it's the pen. And so like when I'm lining it out, I just put a little more pressure to define what I want to define. And the cool thing is it blends out too when I use like soft pressure and I'm working and then just kind of softly go over it, it'll kind of blend out what I already did. So it makes it easy. I like this brush. Everybody always asks me, what brush are you using? And it's like, it just says Painterly Photoshop flat. I'm not even in Photoshop, but I don't know where I got this brush. Oh, that reminds me. I do. Somebody did ask me, and I'm going to send it to them. I got to look for it, though. I got to find where I got the brush and put it on my computer. That God, there's brushes in here. I have. It's like I don't remember where the hell I got them. I just bought them from somewhere.
Yeah. Shout out to that person, because Frank does a killer job with that brush. So when we find out, we're going to figure out a way to send you something. I mean, I might even send the person a Battle Bunny out of my own.
I've been using this brush forever. I don't know where it came from.
Just in honor of the importance to the art. I think the person's earned it.
And I do use other brushes because people like to use other brushes. It's like, yeah, I use it, but this really is one just great tool that it's kind of a very versatile tool for me.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing even with my tattooing. I use different needle sizes, but for me that's only the equivalent of changing my brush to this size or this size, but this for me could be a liner, it could be a shader, it could be like all the different things in the idea. But when it comes to what machine do I use one machine for everything. I don't ever change my machine speed. So like where a lot of people use multiple machine speeds, I don't do that. I'm just a very big advocate for finding one tool that allows me to do everything I need. On occasion, you need other stuff to do certain jobs, which is fine. But if I could cut that down to a minimum, I enjoy that because then it doesn't break my flow state of working and concentrating on what I'm actually drawing or painting versus having to try to pick the best tool for that job. That's distracting to me.
Yeah. So how does that work in the tattoo world? Like it kind of like right now you have pressure sensitivity. Is it just number of passes, or how do you kind of darken, or do you have different colors? Is it a completely different mentality?
No, it's actually the way I tattoo is the same way I draw. So like when it's a pressure sensitivity thing for me. So I do have to change the needle size, obviously, for like if there's big areas, I would want to use something, a needle about as big as my little oval here. If you guys could see my oval, you know, if I need it's a small area that I got to get into. Now, sometimes I'll just corner a big thing too. I try to use the big mags as much as possible. But as far as color, it's the same thing. When it'll be like the way I hold my hand, and I'll just kind of just build up if I just want to get these light values, and then if I need a little more darker in areas, I'll just push down where I need a little more darker, and then kind of build it up. So I kind of tattoo the same way I digitally paint. I don't know how I figured that out. I know a couple artists showed me the technique of just building up stuff, you know, and then I just started figuring out how to apply it to my painting style.
Yeah. So what came first? Was it tattooing, or was it like digital painting, or is it kind of a mixture of both? Or
yes, it's a little from column A, a little from column B, I guess. I started digital painting years ago, but I didn't really have that strong of a art knowledge, I guess. It was more like my drawing. I was the kid in school and in high school that drew better than all its friends. So it was like, yeah, everybody's like, oh, you're awesome. But it really wasn't like this school knowledge of art, you know. It really wasn't until I went to school that I understand how, me at least, or to the teachers and stuff like that, how amateur my art was. But I did start like playing around with digital painting, but just on that amateur level, and that was many years ago. I guess I got more into it after school, and through school I started spending a lot more time digital painting. And they kind of went hand in hand. My tattooing started to get better. And while my tattooing was getting better, I was focusing more on traditional media, like working with colored pencils, Copic markers. I never was big. I did some oil painting, but I never really got big into the painting aspect of it, because for me, once again, it was just so many tools and so many things you had to set up and pay attention to, and all the different brushes, that I couldn't just get the art out the way I wanted. It was a different. Some people enjoy the medium and the time and the serenity of painting, and for me, it was just more stressful than it was peaceful. Where this, for me, is very peaceful.
Yeah, I'm curious of what young Frank was drawing. Like, that's what I want. I want to know the doodles of young Frank as the art prodigy.
Comic books, Mickey Mouse, you know,
okay.
Ninja Turtles.
You drew some Ninja Turtles? Boy, I love Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I grew up with the Ninja Turtles, man.
I mean, I thought I did too, but you must have. I think I was probably a little bit younger with Ninja Turtles, but yeah, my mom would.
I bet you I still at my mom's house have the original the black and white Ninja Turtle comics, because they were black and white, the comics.
I had the action figures. I had all the action figures. Me and my mom would like set up like war. Like we'd put all the action figures up like for half the day, and then like the war would take place at the other half of the day.
Dude, I did that with all my GI Joes. That's what I did. Not Ninja Turtles, but GI Joes. You spend half the day or more setting up the battle, just so you know, and in 10 minutes the battle's over and happens.
Yeah.
I was a huge GI Joe fan, dude.
And then you have to put them all back in their little like boxes. I don't know if you had like the trays where like 6 or 7 would fit in, and you can like get your trays that you would put them in.
You know what? Actually, I had was wine boxes. There were these wood wine boxes. I think my parents would get it from the restaurant they owned at the time, and there were these wine boxes, like really nice wood wine boxes. And I guess they're bottles. You take the bottles out, and it was just I could put all my GI Joes in there, all the weapons in one box, all the GI Joes in the other boxes. I had my own organizational systems.
Yeah, the early version of Frank's organizational systems, I bet, are fun too.
Yes. Yeah, I've always been like that, dude. Everything's always so super organized in a weird sense. OCD to the max. All right, so I think we were getting a good idea of where things are developing, right? Okay, so now I can add another one, and now we can just start developing a little more. Oh, you know what? We need to do some more battle damage in some of these.
I agree. I don't know. There's really nothing for me to add to that, so I was like,
Yeah, that's fine. And then I have to look at it on my other screen to make sure that I'm just not putting too many dots in the same space, and it just makes the artwork look shitty or like too much of this almost repetitive pattern.
yeah, the balance.
I have another monitor that I use if you guys see me keep looking. Oh, plus everybody, you guys are all sitting on my other monitor too. So sometimes when I look over, it's to see the screen that you're on.
Yeah. So also, I'm assuming like some balance with the chips and the hardened stuff too.
What?
Some balance, like you're trying to like balance it out so that it's like distributed.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly right.
So for anyone that doesn't know, what these shields are they? I mean, they are representations, right? They're not. You didn't just kind of think of these types of this shield on your own, right?
No.
They are
absolutely a representation. But you know what? It's like the people who I feel like with this, because it's all a lot of it's all we try to keep some surprise and stuff like that, and I feel like, well, if you don't know, then maybe I shouldn't tell everybody,
Ooh, that's true. That's
and the
true.
ones that do know, and then the ones that don't, maybe they just don't know how valuable something is that they might get as an NFT, and then they get rid of it, and then some lucky person does realize it, and they're just like, oh my god, I'm gonna have that. I don't want to ruin the game for everybody,
Yeah. Frank's got no cheaters. I've never known Frank in a no cheater mood, but I guess today, like, Joey must have taken too many of the things. So Frank's keeping the rest secret now.
Yeah, he yelled at me this morning. I was like, all right, you know what? And I told him, I said, you know what? So now everybody knows. I said, I'm going to create a bunch of traits that you're not even going to see. I'm not even going to show you those traits. So now there will be secrets, and you're not even going to know what they are.
So take that.
Like, don't tempt me to draw more shit.
I can watch you draw as much as you're going to draw, so I'm okay with that too. Well, I can't because I still need to do coding, but like,
yes, you do.
right now it's okay.
You need to get your stuff done, sir. We have a deadline.
Yes. So now we've got some cracks. It looks like cracks are kind of introducing to what I'm assuming are like spear chips and arrow chips and all other sorts of.
Exactly.
Maybe metal to metal chips.
Exactly, sir. You got it. So I gotta think about it too, but you want to balance that out nicely too, right? You don't want to overdo it, and at the same time you don't want to have it be too uniform. So it's like I'm trying to look. Maybe I'll just put one down here, and this one we can put a big one because this is like the closest shield to you, so we can create this cool texture there in the shadows and kind of balance that out a little bit. Maybe we have one that runs right across like that.
Well, that'd be cool.
Right across the whole shield. But now there's only one that does that, so we need to add that somewhere else. So let's go up here and maybe add this one right here across. As it comes off the top this way. Goes around the curve of the shield.
So as you're kind of drawing this background, do you have like you kind of started like the very back and then you're kind of working your way, I guess, closer in some ways, or is that true?
Listen, no. Okay, so you know what? Honestly, what I looked at, the shields to me were, so when I do any kind of painting, I always paint the character last and I build the environment first. That way I can bring the colors of the environment into the main focus or the main element. And this one, yes, it's the bunny, but I treated it, pretend the bunny wasn't there. if I take off the bunny, which you can see the bunny was hiding some of this, which is unnecessary to paint because we don't need, because the bunny covers it. Oh, hey. I'm treating the shield essentially as the bunny, or as the main focal point, or as the character in this sense. So now I'll be able to, I did all the background, created the environment, and now I will build the shields accordingly. I'm still drinking my morning coffee. That's the kind of day it's been at night from last night.
Working. You're working.
Yeah, you guys don't think I'll just say I literally woke up yesterday morning and I started drinking my coffee during a conference call, and then worked throughout the day, and somehow finished the end of the night, almost midnight, in a conference call with John. And we had conference calls all day. So it was like over, 13 hours of just being on conference calls and, really planning all this stuff out. So I don't know if people realize how much work has gone into it in such a short period of time for us to pull all this off and get this together.
Yeah. Also a lot of thinking, like in terms of, again, like the rarities, the traits, the legendary versus common, and how that like factors into how many total there are of that. So, that people can kind of understand more of the rarities, or at least, it's pretty defined. Like I know, because I've been on the other end of a lot of your conversations. Luckily, it was not me yesterday, because I was doing a little more code stuff. But a lot of this stuff has been really thought out in terms of, the world, the future, gamification, all that stuff is kind of, we've definitely taken the extra mental cycles, I guess is what you can say, to kind of make sure it all fits.
Yeah, there is a lot, and there's so much more to work out, and really still, but it's because there's so many ideas. It's not about working it out, because we know the direction and where we're trying to build everything. It's just a matter of, I guess, the details and figuring out details to all of it, and what are some of the best directions for all of it.
Yeah, that and continuity, right? That's the biggest thing, is that
yes,
this is there's very specific things that kind of you feel like are a part of this art world that can be there and can't be there, right? There's certain things in that you have to think about and work out. Yeah.
That's true too. It's like deciding, there's sometimes ideas come in and it's like, yeah, but how's it going to work with this? How's it going to, does it fit the Battle Bunnies story? Does it fit the idea? Does the artwork, does it fit, this or that? And then some are just great ideas, and it's like, oh my God, this mechanic is awesome. How do we add it in? And sometimes it's not going to work this way. It's not going to work that way. And it's like, well, I don't care. How is it going to work? Because I love the idea, right? And we've talked about some stuff like that. And, we've had between the whole team, and it's like, a lot of people are on different sides of the fence of different things. And it's like, okay, the idea is great. How do we pull it off in the best interest for the project and make it work for things? And sometimes those have been some really long, meetings and conversations, right?
Yeah, I've been there for some of them, probably most of them. So I would agree. But it's just
be very specific either, because a lot of them are just ideas in the works. A lot of them are stuff that we want to leave for surprises, because it just seems, I don't know, doesn't it? It just seems like you don't want to give everything away. People want to be surprised. People want to know, get excited about new things that come. You can't just give away everything.
Agreed.
I tend to do that, Joey says.
I mean, not today. Not today. I tried.
Joey spoiled it today. He should have told me about it ahead of time, so I had something to spoil.
I mean, I'm pretty certain you have enough things that you can spoil if you want. So
yeah,
I'm not going to be a spoiler of anything, because I'm just gonna leave that one to you. But there's even things that I don't know. Kind of on the Joey side, like there's things that I know. Either I know they've been done and I haven't seen them, or I don't know about them. Like I feel like there's probably one or two things that you've probably done that I don't know about.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'll find out. I will find out.
We'll find out together.
Yeah. A little bit before everybody else, but not much before. Not much before.
All right.
So is this the same color? Same color? We're still
same color. Same color, just a new layer to and build up a little more. I mean, the whole premise of a lot of this is very, it was a very monochromatic feel to everything, right? I really kind of want to just capture the feel for that's where sometimes I just want to keep the integrity of certain things in the artwork, which is why I look at reference, which is why, I try to hold true to certain things, color palettes, etc.
Yeah, creating a lot of depth too. There's so much depth. Like it's like while watching it, right? Like I don't know anything about creating depth, so let me slow my roll on that. But just looking at you, kind of, continue to paint and build it up. Like you add that depth. You add that refined light source, right? All of that stuff. Again. I get lost in this, so feel free to ask questions, because sometimes I do just watch Frank draw and he has to kind of take over the talking for a bit.
Yeah, and then I just talk and I don't even know what I'm talking about. So people do have questions. I can't even I gotta look over at the comments. Oh, Lay, Ohio. Oh, okay. Oh no, wait, you leave out the O?
Well, that's
or is it minus Ohio? So is it Ohio?
I think it's Ohio. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm
Ohio.
go.
I'm going with Ohio too. Anybody else have any thoughts? Pipe in.
Yeah, he said that's right. Oh well, was earlier. Cool. That was earlier. He said that was right, but you're probably just getting now to looking at.
Oh, can we? Is there more comments that we could scroll down to? No.
No, that's the most recent one we got right now. So
I slide out of camera so I can just take some sips of my water and coffee.
Hey, I understand it. I'm just enjoying the view of the bunny and his background as it comes along.
Doesn't it look like just a peaceful beach sunset?
It really does. Like this for the carnage that's kind of conceptually going on around him, like that's a heck of a sunset I want to see. Like I don't want to see it in that scenario, but like you put that you put that near somewhere in Florida on the beach, like I'm good.
Dude, Florida has some of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen. Honestly, it wasn't until I moved out here, because prior to me moving out here, the last time I was down in Florida, I think I was 16 years old, and it was just for a school trip, so I didn't really think much or pay much attention to the sunsets. But after moving down here and for the first few years living on the water, just looking out over the water during even sunrise and sunset was some of the most beautiful things, sunsets and skies I've ever seen. There was times you just look out over the ocean, and in the distance at night there was these lightning storms over the water. It wouldn't be raining where on land, but you look out over the water and the sky would light up with lightning, would light up purple and peaches and orange. It was insane, dude. It was beautiful. I've never seen anything like that.
Man, destination flex. Flex. But and how long have you been in Florida?
Will be March. I moved out here March 16th of 2007, so it'll be almost 15 years.
That was.
And I met Krista April 2nd of 2007.
So pretty much right after.
Yeah. I met her 2 weeks after I moved out here. I met her the first day of school.
And she moved out here for school too, right?
Yes, yeah. That's correct. I met her the very first class, the very first day, We both started school. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 or 8:30. I can't remember what time class started.
Man. And then here we are.
Yes. Here we are, 15 years later.
15 years later, she's tattooing right now, but you know.
No, she's on a tattoo consultation. Oh. She has a FaceTime consultation with her clients.
Oh, doing tattoo consultation, but here we are now. I mean, you can talk about how you guys kind of work together, like on this, because you know she helps with a lot of the art stuff on your end too.
Yes, yeah. Krista actually she does a lot of the local color for me. So like I will do the sketching, all the original like the drawing side of it, the sketch of the traits. Then I'll pass the file over to her, and she will block in all the local color. By the way, because I say it a lot, local color, and that's what it's called. Local color is the color of an item or the colors of an object without any light or shadow on it. So it's really the most natural color that the object is before light and dark hit it. So she'll block all those colors in and then send it back over to me for rendering, lighting and shading and stuff. Originally when we started, before Krista jumped on board, I was doing all of it. And that was a lot because doing the local color does take a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, I did. I think we were on. So we do go live on Discord. So anyone that's new or just watching this video. Oh, thank you. Peyton says these are incredible. So shout out to you, Frank.
Thank you.
But so if anyone is in our Discord, they can join it. Frank will sometimes go live, and just kind of do this also. But yesterday, I don't know. I think he was taking out the dog, and Krista jumped on for a bit, and we got to see how Frank organized his layers. And I think that was a fun insight into you guys working together, because she was just boy, what are you doing with these layers? And it was just it's a blast to see like you guys work on the same file, because I think you guys are you work. Well, how much have you guys really worked together like this? Like it's pretty new, right? Like you've done a couple things together, but this is pretty extensive in terms of collaboration, right?
Put it this way: in school, we were in school for 5 years because we did take a semester off. So we were there for 5 years. For those 5 years straight, me and Krista had all of our classes together. We literally went to school together. 3-4 days a week. Or 4 or 5 days a week, because then we also worked together, in the shop. She was learning to tattoo and all of that stuff throughout that process. So for all our school projects, we worked together. Even if we had to work separately, we were working together with our school projects. If it was a project that required people to actually work together, we were working together on the school project. So we did that, and then once it got more into the tattooing, that's a more individual space. There's collabs and stuff like that, but that's kind of what I got tired of too with that. It's like, for years it becomes an individual space where you're just working on your own thing. Even though you could do collabs and stuff, it's just, I don't know. I like working in a team. I like seeing other ideas come to the table and all of that stuff. And I tried to do that for a long time within the tattoo industry, but I think too many artists really just enjoyed that kind of solo rogue aspect of things.
Yeah. So, and again, because it is the tattoo space, it's kind of like set up that way, right? Like it's kind of
that lone wolf style of working as an artist. But for me, you don't grow like that. You can't grow as an artist if you do everything by yourself. Just don't. You need other artists to be around. You need to share. Yeah. So, but yes, this is really the first now endeavor after all these years that it's just it's a team effort. We're literally doing everything together.
Yeah, nostalgic if nothing else. Nostalgic to the college days.
Yes. So see, right now I'm just blocking in the light, right? Just like I did with the shadows earlier on. I'll bounce back and forth.
So now is this color different, or is this the same color?
It's a different color.
Okay.
No, this is a different color.
Okay. Took me 3 shots on that one, but I finally got him where you switch colors. You've done so much with one color that that's gonna be the new game, is catch Frank when he switches colors.
We're just roughing in, and then I'll bounce back and forth between these 2 colors.
So this is like the light side, and then we already did kind of more of the dark side, and then you're gonna like blend them together in a way, or how does?
No, I'll just keep building up. I'll just keep building up on top of them. I don't ever really blend much together. Yeah. I guess the brush does a lot of the blending, like blends for me.
I mean, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So you tell me.
It's layering. So the layers that go on top eventually smooth stuff out. But right now, I'm just blocking in just to see where the light's going to hit on certain things. So when I zoom out, just that's all. I'm just trying to figure out this. There's no detail going in right now. Like all that time I spent detailing the sky. This is not a detail phase. I will get to that phase. Right now, it's more of just, once again, now defining the light. Oh, there he is.
That's as if Han woke up?
Yep. That's too loud for everybody. Just tell me, because I'll mute myself for now.
He's only 7 pounds. His bark can't be that rough. Now, if Rio starts barking behind me, we're in trouble, though.
Hey, don't underestimate my doggy's bark.
Sorry.
Don't call it shit week. That's not cool.
I didn't mean it that way.
He's tough for his 7. He's 8 pounds.
I've heard him bark. Like, I would be afraid if I was the pool guy. Like, I've heard him, but luckily right now it's not coming through the mic.
No. And just for everybody to know, his name is Han Solo. He was named after Han Solo.
And what is he? What type of dog is he?
He is Chipu.
A Chipu. That's a
Yes,
Chihuahua.
But he's a scruffy-looking nerf herder, and he's a scoundrel. So the name was very fitting for him. He's a Chihuahua and a poodle.
Okay.
But he looks like a werewolf, doesn't he? He needs to get a haircut again. We got to give him a haircut. But when we give him a haircut, he doesn't look like a scruffy-looking nerf herder anymore.
And some of the mystique goes away. So Frank fights that. And also, like, he has hair on top of his head, and then Frank can't style it sometimes, and so that's part of the entertainment too. So
yes, you can absolutely. When he has hair, if he comes visits me a little bit, he's hanging out with Mama right now. But if he does come visit me, we'll play. We could play with his hair. You can see we could give him mohawks. We could give him dapper doos. Like.
I haven't seen the mohawk. I'll have to see a mohawk on.
The mohawks. That's the first one. I give him the mohawk all the time.
That's to get the hair ready to go to the true swag curl or whatever.
Yes, and he don't care what you do. Then he gets bedhead. I mean, he literally gets bedhead. He wakes up in the morning and his hair's like all like smushed to one side or whatever, and he just looks at you like. But yeah, I can't say that I'm going to finish this background during this live because there is a lot of work that's got to get done to these shields.
Yeah, as our Discord is scrolling on the bottom. Also, don't forget you can join our Discord. It's just discord.gg/the Battle Bunnies. And Frank I think went live. Was it the day before yesterday? 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I was on there for like 10 hours.
Yeah,
I spent the day in there. I just like hanging out while I'm drawing with everybody.
Yeah, and having his coffee. He likes to kind of engage the community pretty much all the time. But definitely the first thing in the morning is Frank throws up his coffee, and everyone kind of communes over their coffee. I guess I don't because I don't drink as much coffee, but.
Yeah, it's good. I love that about our community. I love that everybody gets together in the morning for coffee and, just say hello to each other, talk about things, and then just go about our business for the day.
Yeah. And that's also the awesome thing about this is an NFT project is Frank is not just involved. He's a huge driver of a lot of it, but he's also like available and engaged. Like it's it's not
I'm
like
involved.
Yeah, I know, bro. You are involved. You are doing lots of things, but also like in the community a lot. Like you talk to the community more than I do, in terms of like just how's everyone doing. So it's just unique in the NFT space. If you're new to the NFT space, hopefully they think this is how it should be, but it really isn't for a lot of projects. You don't really get to engage with the artists as much. You don't really get to build relationships with others in the community. You don't really get to see the art drawing as it's going on. We also let community members decide on traits. Frank's drawn a couple traits that were suggested by the community. So it really is, it's different, and hopefully that's what keeps driving and building our community of other people that love this art.
Yeah, I'm excited for. I got some traits locked away in my head that nobody knows about and nobody's gonna see, but I'm gonna bring them to life. I think over this next week.
And I will see them, but only shortly before.
Yes.
Only shortly before.
So, and also, yeah, we're getting close to launch time too, man. I'm so excited for that. I really am. I'm excited. What?
Looks like Joe just jumped in, Melly. He said, "What's up, fella?"
Melly? What's up, Melly?
You can tell us any embarrassing stories about you guys drawing yesterday, or the day before yesterday?
No.
Or was it yesterday? I think it was
yesterday. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's what I had to do yesterday also. He came over and we had to work on some of artwork together for his new business card. So I was like in between all of our conference calls. I was wondering where like those 3 or 4 hours went in between conference calls. We were working on artwork. There's nothing I love to do. And that's why I think John had the idea and we loved it, was to maybe add one of the utilities for the people that would like, because I know we have a lot of artists in our community, but where we could do like these private seminars with art and work on projects together with the artists of those who hold certain amounts of Battle Bunnies. If that's what the community, some of the community wants, we have no problem giving our time to the community to do that.
Yeah, especially like hopefully like our community right now has various like artistic people, and that's the hope too, is that we get other artists that are really excited about this, and that's something else that Frank and Krista can share, that everyone connects on. As much as I know that people want me to teach you smart contract code seminars, I think that would be a little more dry and less appealing than Frank teaching painting and drawing, as you know.
I think people just walk away more confused and stressed out at the end, because sometimes you talk to me and I get so like I don't know what you're talking about.
It's all good. That's pretty much me when you're drawing and me trying to figure out, like, I can see what's going on, but like, yeah, like I'm just trying to guess the right color, bro. Like I can't even tell if you're using the same color, so we're all good.
I was fun when I was watching a little coding stuff you do. I was fascinated, but I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't even know the end result of any of it. Like I'm just like, oh, okay, a lot of letters and numbers. Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely not as even as somebody that has done my fair share of like teaching the code. I think that it's just a different vibe for sure than kind of the art and learning art, and in this case, me just watching art and watching it being created.
But I think for people who are into coding, they love it. I think there's an exciting aspect in that sense for people who are into the code.
Yes, fellow tech nerds. I know some of them, but yeah. Melly's hanging out, watching us. So,
welcome, Melly. For anybody that doesn't know, Melly is my business partner in our Stewart shop up in Stewart, Florida. We have our second Into the Woods location there. the whole other team up there.
And how far away is that from the other shop?
So it's about an hour.
No.
An hour or so, an hour and 20 minutes. It depends. From the other shop, yeah, I'd say about an hour and 20 minutes or so, depending on how you drive. If you drive like me, maybe 45 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, I know there's definitely some South Florida folks, but for people like me that have no geographical understanding of Florida,
yeah, it's almost like it's just directly north of one shop to the other.
And so now we're kind of adding highlights, or
I'm just adding, I guess they're highlights, but it's light source. That's what we're adding. We're adding light source.
Light source. I can use that word.
Yeah. Just kind of creating where the light's hitting these shields. But yes, they are highlights. But I'll define, create more definition later with certain things with more shadows and build up and stuff. I'm just trying to balance things out a little bit.
Yeah. And Laura says she's been interested in NFTs for a while, but was unable to find a place to learn and ask questions until now. So she loves the info and community that we're providing, and the art is top notch. So shout out, Frank.
Awesome, thank you, Laura. Well, we're here all the time, and you join us in our Discord, or maybe you are in our Discord. There's so many people there now, so I lose track of everybody, but we're always around to answer any questions and help people through whatever you need with the great resources or just answering the questions. I'm learning a lot too through all of this. What was it, 2 months ago? Maybe 3, right? You came in November.
Yeah.
Things to me about it, NFTs, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So you had to explain it, and now I'm kind of addicted to the whole space. Not from just drawing and creating one, but to the whole aspect of buying them and being a part of other people's communities as well.
Yeah.
I am officially an NFT collector.
You are a NFT collector. You're into a couple different projects. But yeah, also Laura, that's our hope. Whether it's, Frank on the art side, and kind of on the engagement for the NFT space, and he's actually done crypto longer than I have, and I'm, a software guy. But on the other side, when you're like, hey, what is this? How do I think about this? Hopefully you can get a couple different perspectives. One from Frank as a collector and the artist. One from Joey, more from his perspective, just loving NFTs, having a passion for it. And then me, I guess, is the third wheel, which is technically what it means. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is code. So hopefully I can provide some concepts around the code, or at least an abstraction, so you can understand the concept, but not maybe the code itself. So that is our hope, and that is again, jump in the Discord. We're always available. I've had a couple discussions on different contracts in there and different things on the technical side. So there's nothing we're not into jumping into and helping on.
And if you're not familiar with Discord, this video will be up on our YouTube and I think other places. But in the beginning of this video, Joey did an amazing whole tutorial showing his screen and talking all about everything about Discord, how to join Discord, how to use Discord. But really, that's where most of the NFT communities live.
Yeah. And earlier, so if you're joining us now, Joey did kind of touch on some of the things about the future, but there's there's a lot of things in the future. This isn't just a single drop NFT. It really is a token for future plans, right? Future ideas that we have, future things that are going to let our community engage with where we go. One being the DAO. So if you've never heard of the term DAO, it stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Don't need to know what that means, but it just means that by owning a Battle Bunny, there is a way for us to verify that you are owner of a Battle Bunny, and that lets you get voting rights or to kind of vote on the direction. So if you have this Battle Bunny, we can create a way for you to say, hey, I want the project to move this way, and your access to vote and your ability to vote is kind of tied to holding a Battle Bunny. We've already got some 3D animations or 3D avatars in the works, and possibly some animation stuff down the road that hopefully you guys will get to see.
Well, maybe not so far down the road. Who knows?
Yeah.
But still down the road. It's just how far down the road is a surprise.
Yeah. It is absolutely true. And then also we do have, because this is hand drawn, there's another NFT that you will get by holding a Battle Bunny, that you'll get a free NFT to your wallet that is unique because this is hand drawn and then generated off of the traits that we kind of talked about and the different rarities that kind of exist from legendary to common. There's just some things that didn't work and some ideas that we had that we didn't want to put in this collection itself. But at the same time, we want to keep delivering value for our community so that they feel like that we appreciate their support of this. So there will be a future drop pretty shortly-ish after that will go to your wallet. And then there's also kind of entrance into other future drops, along with some of the other exciting plans that we've kind of talked about in terms of long-term vision, Frank's long-term vision around bringing this to as a game and kind of utilizing this world and creating this Bunnyverse, I guess is what it would be. I don't know if it's still the metaverse, if it's all well, it can't be Bunnyverse because there is other things. So critter metaverse.
Yeah, I was like, it's not just bunnies.
Critterverse. I don't know if that's a Critterverse can be a term.
Yeah, Critterverse. Yeah, I like it. That's it. It's the Critterverse. No, screw the metaverse. We're going into the Critterverse.
Yes, exactly. We're going into the metaverse, or we're going into the Critterverse. Everyone else can go into the metaverse.
Yes, we're going to create the Critterverse. Sounds better too.
Sounds at least cooler. Like I would want to go to the Critterverse over the metaverse.
Who doesn't want to hang out with little critters? I mean, I don't even know what metas are. Actually, I do, especially in the gaming world. It's funny when Joey was talking about whales earlier and Dave was hanging out here. I'm thinking, if anybody knew about Marvel Strike Force, me and Dave unfortunately have been whaling in that game for almost 3 years. And I've recently come to the conclusion that I think it's time that I quit because this project consumes a lot of my time and I can't dedicate the amount of time to the game that I would like to, but at the same time, I think about the amount of money that me and Dave have spent in Marvel Strike Force, and it just almost seems so hard to walk away. But that is one thing that I have wailed on in my life.
Yeah. It's also a community though, right? Like that's
a community.
That's part of it, right? Is that you and I'm assuming Dave play together, a couple other people that play together.
Yeah. And on top of that, people we've been playing with has been a little over 3 years. So, we've made friends in that community. Actually, there's a few of them in our Discord that have joined to check out the project and are interested in NFTs and all of that. So it becomes a family over that much time.
Yeah. And you share the love for a central thing, right? Like people can connect over that game, right?
Yes.
Over their love for that game.
Yes, that is true. I'm feeling the way this is coming out, man. It's coming along, huh?
I'm digging it.
It's got that very monochromatic feel. So hold on, let me do something. I want to try something now. This is how I get myself buried, like folder deep into things.
Yeah. While you do that, I'll also talk about the grimoire, because we're talking about some of the future things of Battle Bunnies, and another thing is what we're calling the grimoire, which is again, because this NFT can be a token and access. You having that NFT will give you the ability to tell the story of that Battle Bunny at that time, or tell a little bit about it, or give it its name, and again make that NFT more personalized in the world for you. And just kind of a small thing that like Frank mentioned, and I was like, I think that'd be unique. I think that would be
I think
cool
that was
concept.
Krista's idea. Well, actually, the naming idea came. You told me about that, and then it spawned into the whole naming idea. And I love the idea that people can name their battle bunny, or samurai squirrel, or whatever they can, because I do in the future, which I think it's down the roadmap. Right, we have it down the roadmap, where we talk about. The legends and heroes, right? Who are the legends and heroes of the battles? It's not just essentially like the soldiers in battle, right? But who are the main ones who lead the charge? Who are those heroes, the named ones? And we just thought it would be great for, like, you know, as your battle bunny grows, and you know, like how we talk about the levels and stuff like that, and you kind of build and develop your hero. Like, what has he done in battle? Where you get to name him, and that's kind of where I guess it was Krista, right, who came up with the idea of. I called it the grimoire. Yes.
So you came up with the name, but I don't know where the initial like concept came from. So that probably was Chris. I know me and Krista talked about it. I think you definitely came with the grimoire, because I remember that I had to Google it, and you must have used the word before because she already knew what it was. But like,
yeah, because she's married to me. That's why she knew what the hell it was.
Oh, dude. So Melly asks, "Is the sun rising or setting?"
Well, you tell me.
That's a Melly question.
That's up to the viewer, right? Decide.
Or the owner. They can write it into their story.
That's the whole point. It's like you're going to tell the story of your battle bunny. And that was the premise behind the grimoire, which I thought was fantastic, is where people who hold a battle bunny will be able to go and add the story of their hero.
Yeah. But it's only if you hold that battle bunny at that time. That's, again, part of this beauty of these being completely digital, is we can check and authenticate you like you would your email address and password, but it's just by ownership in your wallet of having a battle bunny. And then that, you know, that kind of instantly is your authentication into being one of the only 5,000 people that can post in probably, well, actually much less, because people will probably buy a couple, or we hope that they buy a couple.
Wasn't it my
what are you saying?
I was going to say, it was my idea, right, to create Face Bunny?
Yeah, face bunny. Frank wants to create Face Bunny.
So it's like a social media platform just for people who own battle bunnies and friends. Come on, and you just come on as your NFT and get
just post your day, post your bunny's day.
You know, and then I would be on there as like Narf the Mad, and Narf would have like all these followers.
I mean, I feel like Narf would have a lot of followers. I feel like Narf on Face Bunny would be a hit.
I think so too. He could just talk about crazy conspiracies and stuff that's going on, and I'd be like, oh, he's just nuts.
It's just Narf. He's just Narf.
He's just Narf. Here he goes Narfing again. But if there is comments going up, you gotta read them or let me know, Chris, because I'm like staring at this screen until my other screen. I can look over.
Yeah, it's just a melee right now.
Oh.
I would say his other comment, but it somewhat gives it away, and so like we're gonna leave the reference behind, and just let those that know. Right? Wasn't that what you said?
Yeah, exactly. Melly's a big mouth. I'm never telling Melly anything again.
Because this is a rare reference, huh? Like no one's ever seen it.
Some people do. we're getting there. And I did this because now I want to try something. So a lot of things for me too, which I don't think a lot of people realize, is a trial and error, right? So I have this very interesting trial and error phase that I play with, of doing cool things and then trying to make them work, right? So I just did that, and then I was like, well, what the fuck was that, right?
What did you do? Is that just a gradient somewhere?
Yeah, it's a gradient I made a long time ago. It's a sunset gradient. So now I could do that, right?
What?
And now I could start to bring in like this color to the whole thing if I want to do that. But I don't want it too strong. I just want to add some purples and like I just want to add some color to everything. Yeah. So I just do that, and so you can see how it takes it from here, and then just kind of adds a whole other level to it.
Almost like a tint. I don't know if tint's the right word, but yeah, it adds like
it
whatever
does.
You would say it is. Like Chris being the non-art guy and the Photoshop guy is gonna say tint. So there's probably artists that are like squinching right now, cringing.
So what I do need to figure out is there's like little things that bug me in certain areas, and sometimes there's things that it's probably in the local color. That's where it is. Okay. So like these are areas I'll go back in and I'll do this and paint in because there's certain things that I want. I'm on the wrong layer.
So you're painting because you want like darker, or are you trying to like?
I'm trying to get rid of that line that existed when I put everything there. And blend this lining out more, and then when I put all the other layers I painted on top of it, we'll just get back to there. There we go. So there is something about now. You know what? There's some of this that I do want to take away. Some of this, let's lower this a little bit. So sometimes it just comes down to me balancing layers out too. And it's like I do want some more of this dark in the waters here to really frame out those shields more. So I'll bring out and then I'll just bring a little of that out a bit. Just because sometimes the effects push a little too much.
So Melly's having some fun. He said your drawing is giving it away, and now he wants some ships in the distance. Is what he's claiming for. He's desiring ships in the distance. You can yell at him when you see him.
There are no ships in the distance in this one.
He's trying to create his own alternate universe.
Yeah, you just make your own and you put ships in the distance, okay? All right? You do it. I get to yell at Melly because he's my friend. Everybody's like, wow, Frank's such an asshole. Why is he talking to this guy like this? And it's like, no, it's just Melly. He's my friend and I like to bust his balls. That's the other thing that I love about our shop. We all bust each other's balls a lot.
Yeah, at both shops, or how much did like the shops like interact? I guess, or like I know you guys like went to do things together, like Orlando or whatever for Halloween. But like, do they kind of work in? Do they go back and forth, or how's that work?
No, Melly has the most interaction with everybody at our shop down here.
He wants a barista bunny, by the way. This is the newest comment. He wants ships. He wants a barista bunny.
They're very demanding, Melly. I probably taught you that too, huh? I know he gets that from me. Yeah, and then like we always do the Christmas party, and like certain get-togethers we'll do at my house. Where both shops get together, come over, and we all hang out together. But for the most part, I think Melly's probably the one that comes down and visits us the most and has the most interaction with the guys down here at this shop. See, so now I'm going in, I create a new layer, and now I'm going to define a little more of the shield. This is where I'll start playing with detail, which just takes a little bit of while to do. I'll have to go through each shield. I'll bounce around. I won't do one at a time. I will bounce around while doing this.
And is this like
so I can balance everything out? Yep.
Like on the scale of 1 to 100, where would you say you're at right now with happiness? I know that there's no 100 in your world, but like where would you say like you're at kind of now on this for us that don't know?
I mean, where it is right now, it's hard to say a number of value, but I'm stoked about it. I mean, I love the way it's coming out.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I wouldn't have gotten
close,
it.
Right? Would you say it's closer to finished or farther away from finished? Well, I mean, it's definitely not farther away, but
I'd say about 70%. That I could say. And I'll tell you, when you ask me like how I feel or whatever, like if I didn't love it, where we're at now, or is it that I wouldn't be this far into it? Like I would have probably scrapped a lot, like scrapped whatever I wasn't feeling, and redid it already. So that way I do get to a point that I'm happy with. I don't move forward until with something until I'm happy with a certain part. I'll work on things trying to get it where I'm happy with it, and then I'll continue moving on.
Yeah. So Laura asked a question just for you, my friend. How much detail do you plan to add to the backgrounds, or do you plan to keep the bunnies the focus? How would you kind of respond to that?
So, she's got a very good point. So what I usually do is I add as much detail to just get the point across to really create my values. And then a lot of times a little trick, well, I'll show you now. So here, if I was to take, well, I'd have to flatten it. So I can't essentially do it with this, but you know what? We'll do a little, let me see if I can pull this off. Hold on, watch this. So what I'll do is let me take this. I'm going to duplicate this just so I don't screw up what I've already done. Shut that off. Let's pull that out here. That should be its own thing right now. Oh, no, let's get it out of the way of that. We're just going to take the shields, for example. And so what I'll do is pretend this shield and all the detailing is done on the shields. I'll make them into one layer. And then a lot of times I will use certain cool little filters like this just to start to blur them out. Oh, no, that's too much. But I try to build my values as much as possible. But I'll blur certain things out, or I might just take the spears and blur out the spears. So I'll go in and cut out certain parts of the shield, or maybe I'll you know what? I'd probably add a little more to this. Who are we kidding? But I just take out a certain thing just so I could create where I want the focus to be. And then I'll go in and then I'll just work on blurring just some of the stuff there. And that way I could have a certain focal point in the foreground shields. I'll do the same thing with like the sky and stuff like that. Just so I make sure everything was drawn to where I need it. But until I get to the final point of finishing everything, I will go in and I'll put all the details that I want. We don't need this layer anymore. Let's get rid of that. Is everything still there? Yeah, that's right. So I will go in and put whatever detail and lighting I need that's necessary for me, at least. I want this back out. Let's take this back out of the folder. There we go. Oh, I can't get it in the folder. All right, it's fine. Whatever. We'll leave it in the folder for now.
I mean, Krista's going to have some things to say about your grouping.
I know. Whatever.
Some of these folder groupings.
Fine. I'm talking. Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. So, and, she don't have to do anything on this one, so I could just kind of paint it however the hell I want.
Let your layers go wild. Is this Frank out and about? No,
Hey.
No longer. You can't get away with it now.
Hey, tone that down.
So yeah, Laura, I'm going to push all my values and all my detail as far as I can for at least what I think will be seen and noticed in the background. We'll get it to a point where I like the way it looks.
And it makes sense if you're gonna blur it to do all the, do all the detail, because it's gonna be blurred, so it's not like it's gonna distract from the bunny.
Right. So, but even adding this extra detail and stuff, I think it's really just about building the lighting. So when you get it blurred out, it's still like the value scale of it and kind of the shapes of it really hold true to what I'm trying to do. Not everything is perfect, but I try to do the best I can with getting it as best as I can, at least for where my ability is. A lot of it's just zooming out, looking at it, and seeing how things read for me. I do have this pulled up on a secondary monitor, which I look at a lot. Also, that's is in a little bit higher contrast, so I can see my values better too. Actually, oh no! If I move it onto this screen for you guys to see, it'll just look it'll look the same as this. So that's going to be absolutely not helpful at all.
Is that a pro tip? Is have one monitor on a higher resolution than the one you have to look at with your eyes, so you don't go blind? Or
it's not so much a higher. It's not the resolution that's different. It's the contrast and the value that's different. This is like right now I have this on the Cintiq, which I think is a little more truer. The colors I'm painting and the values I'm painting, and the other one is the monitor I showed you. It's more of like a gaming monitor, which you see things differently in that aspect. You have it set to how you want your games to look, and so I figure that's where a lot of people might see certain things or how they might see it. So I kind of do it there to balance it somewhere between both. How much that works, I don't know. It's just, it works for me. It's how I've always worked. So, my head, it makes sense.
Yes, and God bless Krista for understanding that head.
Oh man, everything makes sense in Frank's head. It's just trying to get it out of there to make sense to us.
I mean,
I have learned to speak Frank.
Yeah, it'll probably make much more sense to you than it ever will to me sometimes.
I'm a pro.
Sometimes you're not, because sometimes you're just like, what the hell are you saying? And I was like, well, it makes sense to me. I know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and Frank will go off, and then I'll be so confused. And then he'll say, well, that's what I said. I'm like, no, it's not. It's what you said in your own way, in your own mind. But
what Narf the Mad said.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I created Narf the Mad, dude.
It looks so cool, Frank.
Thank you.
Did you see what Melly said earlier about adding ships? Did I miss that?
Oh, I saw it. I just ignored him. You get lucky enough, mint this background with your NFT, you can add whatever the fuck you want. With little ships with flags and I don't care what you do with it. It'll be yours. Just got to get that lucky, buddy. I don't know if he's still there to hear me say that. If he is, I know I'll get some snarky comment back.
Working on the website, Chris?
No, I'm not.
The never-ending website?
Yes, no, I am not. I will be going back to working after this, but I've been watching Frank draw for the last hour.
And I saw you were up at 4 a.m. today in the Discord.
I'm usually up decently early, but yeah. You of all people know I get mesmerized, and Frank makes me less productive some days, and it has nothing to do with any other fault than him drawing in front of me.
I know.
But at the same time, I will say that Frank a lot of times talks to me or to Krista and I while he's drawing and painting. So
Yeah, I do. Right? We just hang out and bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. No. You get to work, sir. Don't blame me for that.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't think I blamed you. I blamed the situation of you drawing and me watching, which is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whoa. I feel like I'm getting blamed in there and I'm not paying attention to catch it.
Thought I just snuck that one in on you.
Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like right there.
Sorry, buddy. Maybe if you didn't draw so good and was so mesmerizing to watch, like it is your fault. Like, I mean, don't try to act like it's not partly your fault. Like,
didn't it draw well? Not good.
I mean, you could draw however you.
I was wondering, I forgot who always used to correct when someone said, "Oh, do something." No, it's well, not good. I was like, oh. I forgot who used to correct it. I think it was Tepper, Kristen. That was one of our art teachers.
See, I don't even like my steaks well, so like that's a weird thing.
No, medium rare or rare.
See, so like I can't use that scale.
Okay, touche, sir. Touche.
Yeah, Melly agrees.
What?
Frank's fault for sure.
What's my fault?
All of it.
Yeah, all right. Good enough. I'll take the blame. Because at the end of the day, I don't care.
So yeah, we have, I think, 26 backgrounds last time I checked. Let's just go over the number. These traits are getting out of control in a good way. We've got 26 backgrounds, 15 different bunny bodies. We've got 23 different wings for the Valkyries.
I didn't know that. I haven't added any of these, so some of these are like shocking to me. I mean, Frank probably is well aware, and you as well, Krista, but I haven't added them up in a while. It's crazy.
Yeah, I spent a few hours yesterday updating the list, the metadata.
Yeah.
Metadata list, and it's crazy.
And you guys realize how much work you've done, like since last time, I guess.
135 weapons and shields.
That's a lot.
And then like 110 different headwear.
That's a real. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. 28 different accessories, 12 eye patches, 9 different items of eyewear, and then 34 facial hair options for you guys out there.
For those keeping the stats, and there's only 5,000 total. So how you get to the total number is some combination of multiplying all those together, which is a lot.
Yeah, you could have a polka dot flavor saver on your bunny.
Only on the not on the Valkyries, but on the male bunnies.
On a Viking pirate, shaman, or sorcerer, right?
Yep. So cool. And I don't know, like we talked about in the beginning, and other NFT projects usually do like 300 traits, or was that a lot for most?
I mean, it's different, but again, like I would say 300 is common, 400 is not nuts, but they don't like. That's what me and Frank were talking. I think when you were gone, is like the whole light source. Like I can't name an NFT that's ever considered a light source. Like there isn't one, and like that's in itself. And then Frank kind of talked about the mustaches and like how they have their own light source on them, so we didn't leave it on the bunny. And like a lot of other projects don't have to think about that stuff because it's unique to the art style, and the quality of the art, right? So
I like it better with this song.
Yeah, they're just flat color, 2D. There's no shadows, there's no highlights, nothing.
No, it's not like poor Frank's brain is kind of racked over shadows. I can't imagine how much it's not a thing that a lot of other projects, have incorporated. Ultimately, I think that's where we go, right? More of this like uniqueness or different. Like you're starting to see 3D and some animate. Like everyone's kind of bringing their style into the world, but for 2D and kind of the depth that he brings, like I've never seen it. That doesn't mean it's not out there, but like I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's like The Simpsons versus Pixar.
Yeah, very different. Very its own art style, its own depth though. Yeah, like he had to go through the layers with me and like see watch the colors, because I asked him for a run back since we had like OpenSea and we're doing Discord and all this other stuff. I was like how did this even how do we get here, man? Like tell me. And there was like the whole lighting layer, yeah, and then like we've been playing a game like can Chris guess if Frank has the same color on? That's been an entertaining one, because I can't tell when he switches colors or not.
Frank's just taking a little bit of a break. I've been at this a while. Normally I get, I'll sit and paint for however many hours, but I get up and stretch out and stuff. So now
Can we go through some of the sneak peeks real quick while you're taking a? Can you just like throw some on the screen so we can see
which ones? Because I the only ones I grabbed earlier was the Loki and the Freya.
Okay.
Which I know we posted a couple times in here.
Yeah, maybe some. Oh, you don't have them, do you?
No.
Slacking.
No. And it's cool. You know what I realized too? I'm looking, like I step back and I'll look at how you guys are seeing, like just in the screen through the video. And that's what I was shutting off the layer. And I was like, that was the original color palette to keep it a little monochromatic and fits how it originally was done. But I was like, I kind of like adding a little bit of this color to it.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, I actually like it better warmer too.
Right? That's what it was.
Now Chris is using warm and cool, and though Frank did give me a lesson last time, I'm not at liberty to use those kind of words because I'm still underqualified in that area. But at least I now know what she's kind of talking about in terms of warm and cool.
So yeah, I'm gonna just. Oh, you know what would probably be a smart idea? To save this, because I would hate to have to do this all over again. I know the file saves like every 90 minutes, but I'm saving it now. Oh, can you show that one Valkyrie that you showed me yesterday, Krista? No, we can't.
No, that's not being shown yet, buddy.
He's a troublemaker, man. You can't come in here and just create trouble.
Can't give away all our secrets, man. Join the Discord, you'll see all the bunnies.
Not all the bunnies, just some of them.
You know what I mean. So far.
Joey left us, never came back, huh?
No, probably being busy being a dad.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard after it's like I say, I'm taking a break, but then I sit over and I'm staring at it, and I'm like, you know what? Oh, I got to do this. Let me do this real quick.
What do you have left to do on it?
I'm really just building up. I'm just detailing the shield. That's all I'm doing. I'm just finishing up the shield, and then I'll just add some of the effects that I like to add, like turn things out and stuff.
Gotta do the arrows too, right? Or you did them
Spears?
Spears.
Yeah, yes and no. Like when I kind of look at it at this side, like I will just darken and highlight some a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But what I kind of like about them is that they're just these silhouettes.
Right.
As opposed to, I might want to, you know what? I don't know if this is going to work or not. No. Let's see if let's shut all this off. No, I'd have to. No, 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 no. Yeah, I just kind of like them being soft and silhouetted, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna email you those sneak peek bunnies real quick, and you can show them.
Okay. But yeah, I'm really just going to build up and detail the shields a little bit more.
That's what I figured.
And, let's see, I want to create. Just to push them back a little bit. All right. I really do think I need a little bit of a break.
Yeah, let's show the sneak peeks, and then we'll
Sure.
be done for the day.
Okay. Yep, send me what you'd like me to pull up here. I was going to say, I could have just pulled them up on your screen. You could have just shared your screen.
Yeah, it's okay. Get the bunny up
I do
there.
like the sky a lot. Them rolling clouds.
Yeah, I love it. It's beautiful.
All right, let me check my emails.
I love the composition, how he's in front of all the shields, like he conquered all of them.
That's the army behind him, I guess, right? Or did he kick all their ass? Isn't it's supposed to be like other battle bunnies behind their shields?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they that's the whole like fighting tactic they had, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, so all the bunnies are under there.
All right. Hold on. Oh, there's your email. Okay. I'll download these.
And Melly said, "I've always dreamed of a rainbow mustache. We have one, sir."
No. Oh, I think he meant for himself. Is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull these out into a folder. I'll make a folder here.
It's funny because you're clicking around on the bunny, but I know you're on the other screen.
Yeah. It's weird how it does that. All right, let's see. Well, we did talk about the classes, right? So there's a wizard, female
Make
wizard.
it bigger.
I can absolutely make it bigger. I can't see what you're seeing because I have this all open on this monitor. Hold on. I can make it bigger. Yeah, I can do that.
Perfect.
So
That's the wizard class, right?
Yes, that is the wizard class. The Valkyrie. That is a Valkyrie wizard.
With a tiger skin
Yes.
and a lightsaber and a lucky rabbit's foot. Where'd it go?
Let's see.
Where did it go?
I took it off. So, and here's a male.
I thought we were going to talk about it.
Oh, are we? Okay. I'll put it back. There you go.
So it's a wizard because of the hat.
Right. We did. Yeah, we talked about how the hats determine the different types of hats.
Mm-hmm.
Will determine the classes.
Cool.
And
that was one of the legendary backgrounds, right?
Yeah. Here's a shaman.
Like a witch doctor. And he's got the wand. That's cool.
And
Can you just cycle through them?
here's another Valkyrie.
Oh, cool. She's pretty. I like the arrows and the hatchet. That's cool. It's got the coffee.
Yep. And if you want some Viking coffee, just join us in the morning on Discord. We hand out free Viking coffee to everybody. It's always freshly brewed.
That's cool. That eye patch is really cool.
Yep. And a banana to taunt the apes with.
Yeah.
Apes are bored, so it's easy to taunt them with bananas. And then these little bunnies could kick their ass. And we did. And here's another Valkyrie.
That one's so cool. The archer, the bow and arrows. That's so cool. And the mohawk. Chicks can have mohawks too.
Yep. Yes, they can.
I love it.
All right. So, if anybody's got any last more coffee, yes. Lahio.
Yeah, we're all out of creamer. We need to go get some creamer.
Oh, you're the 4-cup one, huh? You're the one who has 4 cups of coffee before I even had my first in the morning, aren't you? All right, guys. I know we've been on here for 3.5 hours, so I think that seems to be our going record of our little RMAs.
That's our limit.
Yes, and we are going to do it again. And I think Chris already said goodbye, everybody, so it's just me and Krista. I want to thank you guys all for joining us again. And hopefully you'll join us for the next one, and we'll see what other surprises we have in store for you. So most likely the next one will be next week, as usual. And I'll be on Discord drawing here and there, too. So if you're on the Discord, you can always jump in and say hello while I'm just sitting there drawing.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels. That's where we'll be going live from now on, pretty much, unless it's in the Discord. So make sure you're in that Discord, following us on Instagram. We're everywhere. We're even on TikTok. So we have all of our links on our Instagram. And we are launching in 3.5 weeks. So it's getting the crunch time now. And so we'll be doing a lot more these coming weeks as we get closer to Mint. And thank you, everybody.
All right. Have a great day, guys. Yep. Great night. Great day. Whatever time zone you're in. Yep. See you soon.
Bye, everybody.